What's up, everybody? Hey, we thought we would tune in today and do a little bit of some PFL talk, man. I know that most people have a hard time wrapping their heads around the PFL and what they're doing, but I got to be honest. John and I talked about it probably like for the last couple months, and the conversation's been that they're doing a pretty good job. I like the changes they're making. They've brought on a new CEO and he's making some changes in terms of negotiating their new contract, whether it be with ESPN or whether it be with somebody else. But whatever the situation is, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what they can do moving forward, because they've been having some really good fights. And I think tonight will be no different. And let me just go through this roster real quick of these fights that they're having as of right now. I mean, like there's some good fights on this card coming up tonight. So once you get to the main card, I mean, the very first fight on the main card is Jack Cartwright versus, I don't know how you say his name, is Colan Loran. Good fight though, good matchup. It should be a fun fight. But then you get into like Magomedov versus Sergio Pettis. Great fight for bantamweight. To me, I felt like Sergio's always been a little small for that weight, but he's kind of getting a little bit older too, so it's harder for him to cut the weight down to 25. He kind of was on the fence when he left the UFC about like, you know what? This is too much for me as well. I don't want to have to make that weight cut anymore there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over a little bit because I'm getting too much of my. And so, yeah, so I think that's kind of where Sergio's felt very comfortable at 135, even though I don't feel like he's a big enough guy for that weight class. But Magomedov is like tall, long, skinny, very good in the grappling department. He's got a win over Peter Yan. He was actually Peter Yan's very first loss. They went back and forth in some fights, and he's got a loss to Peter Yan as well as a win over Peter Yan. So very talented fighter, mainly trains with Zabit and Hassan, who is Zabit's brother. Like that's kind of his main training partners. I know he's training a little bit with Habib and that group of guys as well every once in a while. So Archie Kogan, world like a top level wrestler with big power in his hands. He likes to stand. He likes to stand and trade. I love that about him. Most of us, including myself, I would say, for wrestlers, stick with what got you there. But to be honest, like his wrestling in his first two fights was a lot, but then after he started getting more comfortable in the feet, he's made every fight a stand-up fight, and he's had success. He's 12-0. He's undefeated. He's fighting JJ Wilson, who is tall, long, lanky from New Zealand. Like he's got a good grappling style. He's got some power in his hands. He's tall for the weight class. I mean, this should be a very fun fight. Like Archie's going to have to fight him in a phone booth with his boxing and potentially threaten some takedowns and avoid the submissions. And JJ is going to have to, be aggressive with the striking, try to overwhelm him at the long range of striking. And if you're not all the way out, then you got to be all the way in that clinch, kind of trying to get the front headlock, use your height to your advantage, those kind of things, potentially get to the top position if you can get him down, which is going to be a tough fight. Both the co-main event and the main event are both rematches. Yagshamirdov versus Corey Anderson. Corey doesn't get the love he deserves because, he left the UFC. And I think when he left, he was ranked number 4, I think, in the world at the time on a lot of the rankings. I think even in the UFC, they had him ranked 4th. So he doesn't get the love. He kind of left on a sour note. He ended up signing a really big contract with Bellator, getting paid really good money. He's happy where he's at right now. He just had a win in heavyweight, and then he came back down. He's back down to 205 to fight Yags again. I call him Yags because his name is so long. It's Yagshamirdov. His first name is like Dovzled. And so Dovlejan is his first name, and then his last name is Yagshamirdov. So it's a mouthful. But yeah, I mean, overall though, guys, like that should be a really good fight. The first fight, I felt like it was very one-sided. Corey definitely with the win. And then you had Yags. He's gotten a lot better since their first fight. And I think that's where I've seen the confidence in him in terms of handling guys that can wrestle. I've seen the confidence in him in terms of his striking ability. I mean, like he had confidence in throwing his striking in the first fight, but what he was doing was he would throw 1, 2, and then he would stop. In this, what I've seen lately from him is that he is a lot more confident in throwing combinations because he's not so concerned about getting taken down. He's got a little bit of like foot sweep, judo, sambo style grappling as well and takedowns. So it should be a fun fight. And obviously, let's get to the main event. You got Usman Nurmagomedov, Paul Hughes. This is a rematch as well. And it should be a very close and fun fight. Now, we really comes down to I look at this fight. I was having a conversation with Angelo also from We Want Picks and from Bad Takes. And then I talked with a couple other people as well. And we were just talking about, I compared the first fight very similar to the Islam and Volkanovski fight. Is that Islam, even though I felt like he won majority of the rounds against Volk, it just didn't look good that you were struggling in the 5th round and looked like you were just hanging on to survive. The very similar situation when you've had Usman fighting Paul Hughes in the first fight. He looked exhausted going into the 4th and the 5th round and was struggling to get the takedowns and took some big shots in that 5th round and so forth and so on. So a lot of people thought, oh man, Volk won. No, Volk did not beat Islam. Okay. Paul Hughes. Oh, Paul Hughes won that fight. No, Paul Hughes did not win that fight. Both Islam and both Usman, and in this case, Usman, he won the fight. But there was things that you saw that Paul Hughes did. And I even to myself, I was like, man, I didn't think Paul was this good. I had to go back and go, hey, what was I seeing when I saw him fight earlier that I didn't give him enough respect? And then I'll tell you what it was. Because when he fought AJ McKee, I was like, oh, AJ just came in out of shape. You know, he's fighting at 55, should be fighting at 45. I know he's a big 45 pounder, kind of a little bit of a, and people will call him a weight bully. AJ McKee is. But in this situation, it shouldn't have been that. Like AJ carries the weight pretty well. He's a big body frame. Usman carries the weight very well. But both of them had problems with kicking. And both of them kick a lot against Paul Hughes. Paul Hughes very good at swiping down at the leg and then throwing the left hook, or swiping down and blocking the kick or checking the kick and then throwing a combination and countering off of your guys' kicks. That was very dangerous for both of them. And then on top of that, wasn't able to get the wrestling. AJ McKee was not able to get the takedowns. Usman was not able to get the takedowns. And when he did, they both struggled to hold Paul Hughes down. So I think that, and I owe Paul, I owe Paul a lot of, I owe Paul, not an apology, but like, I got to give him his due, because he did a lot better than I thought he was going to do in that first fight. And man, he was a lot tougher than I gave him credit for. And I thought for sure that Usman was going to be able to keep him at range with the kicks, make him respect him too much, and just kind of like start to pick him apart a little bit on how I thought Shabli, I thought was going to be the better boxer than Paul Hughes. Not between that they have fought, but between the fact that Usman had just fought Shabli and he made it look easy on the feet, and Shabli has got great boxing. And so I expected Paul Hughes to have the same type of problems that that Shabli had with Usman, and that was not the case. As a matter of fact, Paul Hughes was very firm on his stance, kept a really good base, didn't allow for the kicks to throw him off balance. He did everything spectacular in that fight. It just wasn't enough. Even though I'm saying that he's done a really good job in that. He did a really good job in that fight. It just still wasn't enough. He was still losing the rounds. Like whether it was the ability to get in deep enough on takedowns, get takedowns, landing, the strikes a little bit more, and not just being as defensive. It's one thing like with Paul Hughes, right? Like if Usman's throwing the kicks and you're blocking and you're countering and you're missing, then that's another thing. But it was in this situation, it was one of those fights that I looked at and I said, man, that was a lot closer fight than it should have been. And I think a lot of people were thinking to themselves, Paul is a lot better than they gave him credit for. And Usman also showed that there's some things that he needs to work on. Yes, I can see Ice Out. It says, is it in ESPN? Yes, it's on ESPN. It's available to watch. We're wrapping up the prelims. There's one more prelim fight. I'm used to, like, with Bellator and with the UFC, they give you like, this is what time the early prelim starts. This is what time the prelims start. This is what time the main card starts. That is not the case with the PFL. They basically said the main card started at 11 a.m. this morning or whatever, 10:30 a.m. this morning for me in Central Time. And that was not the case. The whole card, the very first fight started today. So I had to reschedule this for later. We're going to end up catching the last prelim fight before we go into the main card. And, it was something that I just was like, hey, let's go ahead and talk about this fight. And the reason why I want to talk about this fight, not only because I consider Usman one of my teammates, even though I had never really trained with him a whole lot, only had a couple of opportunities to kind of grapple a little bit and also work with him on some technique. But mainly just because the first fight was such a good fight. Both fighters showed how well-rounded they were. Both fighters showed the cojones to dig deep, the ability to go like, look, I've got to do more in this round to win this fight. And that's what you saw from Paul Hughes in the 5th. And you saw Usman go, damn, I better pick it up in this round. Otherwise, I could potentially lose this fight. You saw both of them having to dig deep in that 5th round. It was a great fight. I just want to see exactly how do they pick up where they left off? Does Paul Hughes come out with more confidence? Does Paul Hughes understand what he did wrong in the first fight by just kind of being defensive and then trying to counter and sometimes landing, sometimes not? But just to me, Paul wasn't as busy as he could have been, knowing that he had the answer for a lot of things that Usman did. And the flip side of that is, how does Usman react in this fight? Because he looked tired in the first fight. He looked tired by the end of the 2nd round, going into the 3rd round. And then he had to dig deep, basically rounds 3, 4, and 5. But he still was able to get it done. Is he going to be working more on his wrestling to get this fight to the ground, or is he going to work more on things that will help him keep his distance and his range, the side kicks, the head snap kicks, spinning kicks, or, knees up the middle, whatever it is, things that will work with him in the clinch or things that will work with him at keeping Paul Hughes at bay. So you guys are not tuning in and watching this right now. They're finishing up on the last prelim of the card before we get into the main card. But if you guys got some questions for me, you guys can hit me up and I'll try to get them as best I can. What's up? What's up? It says Infect TV. What's up? Hey, how you doing? What's up, Josh? How you doing? Ice out. Hey, Dave. Where's Dave? I don't see where Dave is. I don't see Dave. Is Dave on here? Is Podcast Dave on here? I love Podcast Dave. He's like my little brother that I never wanted. So, but yeah, it's been, most of you guys know, and if you guys don't know, and Big John has decided to go back to refereeing, and I wanted to let everyone know that, we had a long conversation about this and a very long talk. And John will definitely be back on the show here periodically, and and give us his insight on how things could have been handled if something came up. But look, he's going to go back, and while he still is feeling young and spry and all the things that he can do, he's lost, I want to say, like 30, 40 pounds in the last probably month and a half. So he's feeling a lot better. Things are feeling good about him. And so I said, hey, you might as well go do it. He's got about 3 or 4 more years till he wants to retire. So he'll probably run off and go be a referee for another, 2, 3 years and finish out his refereeing career, scratch that itch, as fighters would like to say, when they retire from the sport. And just kind of see where he's at. But I mean, look, he will definitely be back in terms of, being a guest on the show every once in a while. If there's something we want to have clarified, I would, I know that he's only a phone call away, and I know he'll jump on at any time, anywhere for me. So love that about him. He's, him and I, we're not just friends. We have basically forged like a lifelong friendship. So he's somebody that I can definitely reach out to and be like, hey man. So it's on ESPN. Thank you. For those of you guys answering each other, it says, what the F is this ESPN Unlimited? What it is, the ESPN Unlimited, I know I had to sign up for this thing too. They got me. I think what it is they know if you're watching combat sports, that UFC is leaving. So they try to lock you into this contract for the next year moving forward. And what it is, I think it gives you Disney, Hulu, and something else. So now you have all of these things mixed in with your ESPN app. So you pay the one-time fee. I think it's not bad. I want to say it's like $29 for the year. I think it was $29 for the year, I think is what it was. Or maybe it's $29 a month. I don't know. But whatever it was, you end up getting Disney, you get ESPN, and you get Hulu. And there was another one, I think you get a smaller one. I said, screw it, whatever. I already have all 3 of them. Might as well wrap it all into one. And what I did like is that I still had like a month or a month and a half remaining. And so they actually gave me the discount that I had on that for whatever it was. So my $29, I think it ended up being like $18 or something is what I owed. So, to get it started. So we did that. That was a little bit of a pain in the ass because I was planning on going earlier, and I started clicking on. I'm like, hey, what is this? What's going on? Do I got to connect all this stuff again? I got to connect my DirecTV. I got to connect this, connect that. So ended up working out, and here we are. So like I said, we're going to Ramani versus, I couldn't see, it was Trabelsi or whatever his name is. So they are about to Trabelsi. Yeah, they're about to start the last prelim fight, and then we get into the main card. Jack Cartwright, man, is a fantastic fighter, and Lorraine is a very good fighter as well. So that should be fun. That should be a great fight to watch. That'll be the start, I believe, of the main card, and then we'll get into Magomedov, Sergio Pettis, JJ Wilson, Archie Colgan. That fight is going to be fun. That Archie Colgan and JJ Wilson. I'm excited. I think I've yet to see JJ Wilson in a boring fight. The guy's fun to watch. And look at Archie. He just short, stocky, great wrestling, heavy hands, loves to stand and trade. But relatively, the experience is not quite there yet. It's 12-0 though, but he's making his way up. I could see him potentially getting a title shot, not after this one. It depends on if it ends up in highlight reel fashion, but I can see him getting talked about and getting a title shot either after this win and maybe one more win after that. So, because there's fighters up there. You've got, you've got Gadzi Rabadanov, you've got Brent Primus, I think, and you've got Alfie Davis, who just won the tournament. You've got Alexander Shabley, who is still there. I think, who else do you have? You've got fighters there in the lightweight division that are there for them to fight. So there's some big fights for them to be had for Archie Colgan. I think Corey Anderson and Yag Shamirodov. So let's go ahead and tip this off. You got some big guys right now. I feel like someone's getting knocked out in this fight. Hey, if you guys got some questions, man, let's go ahead and it's making me upgrade, which I won't. That sucks. Yeah, I have, who is this? Rick Chalk. Yeah, I have the same thing, man. I have the ESPN Plus as well. But what they do is when they say they're going to upgrade you, what they mean by that is whatever you have left on when you signed up, they will credit that to the $29.99, the $29.89 or $29.99, whatever it is they're charging you. So like I said, my 29 upgrade, it was $29 to upgrade, but then they credited me because I only had one more month left on my ESPN Plus app. So they credited me the $11 or whatever it was. So I only paid $18 today and then got it started. So I don't know where you're at on your payment. Did you just upgrade your ESPN app like a month or two ago? I don't know where you're at on that, but just a little clarification on how that happened for me. How much time till main event? The main event probably won't start for another 2 hours. So I'm gonna be here trucking through these fights. So if you guys want to, stay with me, that would be absolutely amazing. I'd love it. But if you don't, hopefully you guys will come back at least for the main event. Co-main event's gonna be a good fight too. Yogs and Corey Anderson, and you've got some other fights that are on there too. So, it's a way to continue to get no fans, guys. This is not a PFL situation. This is a ESPN situation. ESPN's just banking on the fact that WWE will probably be behind this paywall as well when they come into it in January. So if you want to see anything to do with WWE, it's going to be behind that paywall as well. So if you watch anything with WWE, you'll be paying for this regardless. So it won't be just that. And look, and I can't even say that the PFL's got one more year, I believe, with ESPN, but I believe that they've already kind of started their negotiations moving into next year, not with just ESPN, but I think with some other companies as well. So they started kind of putting some feelers out when they hired the new CEO. So let me see. So far, you got two big guys really getting after it, legally streaming it. Right. Let's see. Reach out. Let's see. So Tor still in it. I'm reporting you today. Well, this is not a Dana situation there, buddy. Meat Rocket. This is a PFL ESPN situation. So what's up from Virginia? What's up? How you doing? Guys, if you guys have any questions, let's just talk anything. We don't have to talk about the PFL. If you guys have questions about the sport, you guys have questions about fighters, whatever it is you guys have questions about, why don't you guys hit me up? Let me know. I know this is in the middle of the day and, but I wanted to jump on here. Oh, big knockout. Just missed it. Yeah, but I wanted to jump on here in the middle of the day, talk about the PFL fighters. A lot of these guys that I've called their fights, I've worked with them, good guys, good fighters, and some of them I consider to be great fighters. Corey Anderson's a great fighter. Sergio Pettis to me is a great fighter. I think Magomedov is a great fighter. I'm not trying to diss any of the other ones, but I think the sample size is still not out there long enough. Usman Nurmagomedov, I think has the potential to be a great fighter. Paul Hughes, potential to be a great fighter. Still young in their career. Usman to me is very talented, has all the skill level. He's got great wrestling, Taekwondo style stand up, good at keeping range. He's got a finish over Benson Henderson with the rear naked choke, but he had dropped him first with the question mark kick and was able to jump on him and get the finish. Paul Hughes. his last fight, I believe, finished in 43 seconds. He had a knockout, and then the fight before that was Usman, where, a lot of people thought he won that fight. I don't think he won that fight, but it was still a very, very good fight. But yeah, if you guys have some questions, man, throw it down. And, yes. What is it? Rick Chalk. Yep. John is leaving the podcast. He's going back to refereeing. And like I said, he'll be coming in from time to time and joining the show. Look, I think with referees, they've got to be very cautious and careful about what they say. Commissions don't like when they're doing podcasts. They don't like when they do interviews. And so I think realistically, I'll have John on basically for clarification on some of the rules and the fence grabs and the eye pokes and all the other things. So, hey, is PFL on ESPN or what is it on? Yes, we were just talking about that, Eric. It is on ESPN. And not only is it on ESPN, but there's a new like premium app thing that they're rolling out. And so that's why a lot of people are having to pay the extra $29.99 or whatever for the whole year or something like that. But what they do is they roll that in with your whatever you're paying now. So like I just to explain to someone else is they will discount. Like for me, I owed like another, because I signed up in January, I owed another $10 or whatever for the month. So they just credited me the $10 onto that. And because I already paid for it. And I think I ended up paying like $18 to cover the difference. But the ESPN app goes from, you also now get Hulu and you also now get Disney as well as ESPN. So get all three of them, I believe, for $28 or $29 is what it was. So keep an eye out on that. Anyone else have any more information? No way I'm paying for that shit. Garrett, you're not just paying for that. I'm saying like ESPN is, you're not just paying for the PFL. The WWE will probably be behind this paywall. All of ESPN now will be all bundled together. That's really what they're trying to tell you, is that they are bundling the the Hulu, ESPN, and Disney. They're now coming as a bundle. So you pay for one and you get all three. So what's up? How you guys doing? Hey, if you guys in the Granite 617, what's going on, guys? Josh, will you continue doing the Wayne In podcast? Will you get some codes? Yes. This Tuesday night, I'll be having Brian Stan will be joining me for the Tuesday night live show. He will be coming on, and I will be looking. I'm already reaching out to a couple other people to be helping me on the show a little bit. No one will be locked in. And I think I'm going to give it some time. I want to spend some time doing the show, I think, on my own and kind of seeing where it's at and seeing what we can do. I'm going to do a lot more lives. A lot more lives will be more like this is what we're doing right now. And the reason why I'm deciding to do more of these lives like this is because it gives me a little bit more time to interact with the actual people that have been supporting us the longest. It was very difficult with and no fault of John's at all. It was just difficult to get John, myself, and as well as our producer on the same page to do lives in terms of we're all in different time zones. And so it made it a little bit more difficult. So now I know that, I can do the lives on my own, and I can also have a producer come on every once in a while if I need, and give a little help if we need. So, but yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about doing the live shows, getting a chance and opportunity to reach out and talk to the fans a little bit more. Now, I will be offering moments where a fan will be able to join me, say like at a noon on a Monday live show. Will be able to join me. We can take questions together, or you can ask all the questions you want about whatever it is coming up. I'll probably do those the week of a pay-per-view, so we can talk in depth about, basically everyone's favorite fighters, and the pay-per-views tend to be everyone's favorite fighters. So I think it's a good opportunity for a fan to join us during that. But you have to be a member, and then that's the $4.99 membership you guys can sign up for. And I also do giveaways. And in that giveaway, I'll just select somebody once a month. John and I were going through this process was, hey, if you want a box of Element, and I'll mail it off to you, and as the giveaway, you've got to answer this, and this. Now, I think what we'll do is I'll just be picking a random member that's paying $4.99 a month, and I will announce them on the pod, and I will get your guys' address behind the paywall kind of thing, and I will send it off to you guys directly. So that's how we'll do our giveaways. So moving forward versus having to jump through hoops and, hey, if you do this and you do that, let's just do a giveaway. If you are a member, you have an opportunity once a month to to win a giveaway, and we'll go from there. So whether it's signed memorabilia, whether it's a box of Element, whatever it is, whatever sponsors are sponsoring us and they want to do giveaways, whatever that may potentially be and look like, we can work with that. So yeah, but all that has to do with you guys becoming a member. You serious? That's a bunch of ass. Look, you guys, this is not a PFL thing. This is an ESPN. I said the same thing. I was like, what the hell is going on? This sucks. I'm like, why do I have to pay? I've already paid for ESPN Plus. This is an ESPN thing, man. ESPN, Disney, and Hulu all joined together. Now they're just going to be charging a premium fee of say $29, $30 a month. And you're going to have to, you're going to have to pay for it. If you watch WWE, you're going to probably have to pay for it. If you're going to want to watch whatever other sports are on ESPN, if there's something you like watching on Hulu, you're probably going to have to pay for this. You're going to have to pay for it separately. You can't pay for it separately. I think they've started to basically say that it is all bundled together, is what I gathered. So look, I watch sports. I like to actually go back through when I miss sports and check it out. I also watch NC2A lacrosse, and that's pretty much, this is the only place you can watch it on ESPN. So it's definitely worth it for me to buy it. So I just don't want you guys thinking that, oh man, this is almost like paying a pay-per-view. It's not like that. It's a monthly fee that you'll have to pay for basically all three platforms. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, man, go ahead, hit me up. Let me know. Trey, I'm reporting you for stealing. This is not a oh man. No, this is not a pay-per-view. You guys, I know people are talking about. Look at this. It says In the Granite. Is this In the Granite? No, this is Intangible. Look, whether people are watching it or not, I just know that this is a good fight. So if I'm going to sit here and watch it, I might as well sit on here and watch it with you guys, right? I mean, that's really the way that I look at it. So Tony Blackstone, yes. I still can't get over the fact that John's leaving. I know. But hey, guys, like I said, once John's done, I think John will scratch the itch in terms of being, reffing again. And whenever he does, I think when he's done doing that, I think when it's probably like a year or two, maybe 3, who knows, however long he wants to do it. He's feeling good. He's lost about 30, 40 pounds, I think, in the last couple months. And he feels good. I mean, like if I'm going to sit here and watch the show, I might as well sit and watch with you guys, right? We can have a conversation and talk about it and get into it. So if you guys have any questions, man, you guys drop some questions in there and I'll try to get to them the best I can. And I just want to thank you guys, man, for joining me. Like I said, this is the middle of the day. These type of podcasts or these type of fights that happen in the middle of the day. I mean, unless you're freaking Canelo and Bud Crawford, not a lot of people are going to be tuning in on a Friday while most people are at work. But this is one of those that I felt like, hey, man, this is going to be a good fight. This is actually a really good card with a lot of good talent on this card. So you got Sergio Pettis and Magomedov coming up next after this fight right here. That's the intro to the main card. So you've got that fight. And then you've also got Archie Colgan versus JJ Wilson. Great fight. If you guys have any questions, about you guys have any questions also about the pay-per-view this weekend coming up, hit me up, man. Is Big Ange joining the pod? Big Ange will always be welcome on the pod. Him and I do another podcast called Bad Takes. We'll start to collaborate, I think, with each other on that because YouTube now has a collaboration kind of feature where when we make something and produce it on my platform here, then we'll probably share it to the Bad Takes platform as well. So yeah, Dun, dun, dun. What's work? I don't get that. It says I'm at work. Yeah. Most people were at work during this time of the day on a Friday. But yeah. Yeah. And I would agree. Hustle Bones. I would agree. First fight was competitive, but clear Usman won. Like I said, I tried to give you guys an analogy of what fight I would compare it to. It was very much like the Islam and Volkanovski fight one. And to me, it was like, hey, both of them looked tired in the 5th round, and both fighters had some success in that 5th round, but I just wasn't enough to validate saying, hey, like if you only won the 5th round or you won, the 5th and the 3rd, that's not enough to win the fight. You've got to win every round. You got to win those rounds clearly. So I think because so many people put this huge expectation on, the guys that come out of Khabib's camp. I mean, think about this. Usman is 19-0, Paul Hughes is 14-2. They're very equal in talent. Paul Hughes has the ability to beat Usman. The way he shuts down kicks, you guys got to watch that tonight. The way he's able to shut down kicks and counter off shutting the kicks down is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So Usman's gonna have to come with a little bit better of a game plan, mix up the kicks a little bit more, and he's gonna have to make sure that his wrestling is a little bit more on point. The first fight, he had some success a little bit here and there with the wrestling, but it wasn't as easy as I think that most people thought it would be. And so it ended up being a lot closer of a fight. The rounds were closer, but Usman clearly won, three of the 5 rounds. So body shots, I would agree with you. It's basic titles, I think is what it is, or does it say titties? Can't tell. It's basic bites. I can't see it. My eyes are really bad, and the font is really small on the chat section. So when will Usman says, let me see here. Go back. Yeah, I think Paul Hughes got to hit the body. He can be effective with the body shots, utilize the takedown defense, and get to the rest, and not to the wrestling, get to the boxing. Rip the body, stay tight with his defense, and defend the takedowns. Never allowing himself to settle, on the bottom. Damn, Cartwright having some success a little bit there. You can see Lorraine is it looks built like a brick shit house. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Matt Hughes. Just obviously his stand-up looks a little bit better than Matt's. That's not a dig at Matt. Matt and I are friends. So easy, guys. Easy. What fight is right now? It's the Cartwright fight and Lorraine. So it's the very first fight on the main card. And then after that, you've got the Sergio Pettis and Magomedov. Then you got JJ Wilson and Archie Colgan. And then you got Corey Anderson versus Yag Shamirodov, which is also a rematch. And then you have the main event, Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, man, let's talk. We'll just kind of chat through this fight a little bit as we're going. But yeah, don't be shy, man. Go ahead and hit me up. Let me know if there's any questions. Ooh, you guys can, just because we're watching PFL doesn't mean we can't talk about the UFC. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know about the pay-per-view. I know you guys want John. You guys calm down. I like John too. I want John to, but I want John to do what he wants to do. And look, be a matter of time. He may come back, he may not. But I'm a firm believer. I think when he's done roughing, I think he'll come back. He loves just talking it up, man. He loves fight. He's been in this fight game for so long. It's hard just to walk away from it. Love doing it. So why'd you get delayed? I thought it was at like 8. I don't know what 8 is. I had it at 11. I had it at noon, but then that was the start of the event, and I didn't want to go through the whole prelim card, and so I decided to make the change, and we decided to do it this time. So yeah, exactly. Hustle bones. I mean, the body work is very key for Paul Hughes tonight. I think if he gets to the body and if he's able to get inside on the kicks, I think the body work will be key for Paul Hughes, because that'll be able to slow Usman down. And that tall, kind of lanky body and the longer torso of Usman will be a little bit more hittable if he can get to the body. So let's go ahead and work our way back up. Dun, dun. There we go. Good point. Oh, whoops. See where we at. We go here, guys. If Merab could knock out Corey like he says he wants to, how do you see that happening? Look, he could potentially knock out Corey, but it would basically have to come at like him trying to shoot a takedown. And by him shooting a takedown, it would be like an overhand right. Corey worried about defending the takedown and just getting caught. It's fighters that have a tendency to live off their height. Like Corey is a 5'11", 135 pounder. I mean, I'm 5'10", and Corey's taller than me and 30 pounds lighter than me, which is fucking insane. But his talent, his ability, his timing, all of those things, he lives off of. But Merab, the way he mixes up his wrestling, he throws big shots, all of those things, Corey's got to be very careful of leaning back to avoid the overhand right, thinking that Merab's not going to be able to reach it because he can be shooting, and that's how he can get caught. That's how I see it. If he is to knock out Corey Sandhagen, it would be that way. He would catch Corey in some sort of wrestling exchange or like shooting a shot, throwing the overhand right. or shooting a double leg against the fence, backing out, throwing a punch, and then shooting back in, and then being brought back up, and then maybe backing out and landing a shot to rock him. So he's got to be somewhere in that mix. But that's kind of how I see that whole thing going. So, whoops, I gotta turn that off too. It's a little loud. There we go. Maximiliano Martinez, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. I think Usman is the biggest threat to Topuria. Um, I'm not quite ready to say that yet. I think Usman's got a ton of ability. Paul Hughes kind of reminds me a little bit of an Ilya Topuria. I know there's video of the two of them sparring. I believe at Killcliff. They were working together there, and I think that's kind of a telltale. Like, you have Paul Hughes was getting backed up a little bit by Ilya Topuria in that fight, and both of them have some power in their hands. Both of them can box. They both have very similar styles in terms of like I don't want to say shorter and stockier. I know Ilya is, but Paul Hughes is not a short guy. He's just got thick legs, got a good base, and those things are important when you're taking shots and you're not getting knocked off balance. And so I think that Usman is a threat to Ilya Topuria. I don't know if he's the biggest threat though. There's other guys in that lightweight division that are absolutely phenomenal that I think can threaten him. Let me go up here to this lightweight division here. Look, if I'm looking at the lightweight, I think a Max Holloway at 155 pounds, I think is a better fight. People forget that Max put the weight on properly, went up and fought Justin Gaethje, looked absolutely phenomenal. Highlight reel knockout, and then he goes back down to 45 to cut all that weight. It just didn't make any sense. And so by doing that, that's where we ran into that problem of, like, how much did that affect his performance? I couldn't tell you. But Max has been in some big fights. He's been in some wars. And the fact that happened, I think we have yet to see Max ever really get rocked or hurt like that. And so I think in this situation, I'm going to give Max the benefit of the doubt. And I think at 155, he's a different fighter. And we saw that when he fought Dustin Poirier the last time, when Dustin's retirement fight, is that he fought a very good fight. He was able to take shots a little bit better. He was able to use his speed, his reach, all those things, his lateral movement. And I would actually have to agree with Hustle Bones here that Armand to me is probably the biggest threat to Ilya Topuria. The wrestling ability, the grind ability, the way he can hang and kind of hang on Topuria's head, really make him work in these scrambling type positions, I think is going to say a lot. So I think that's probably it's going to be Usman Nurmagomedov, which he just re-upped on his contract with PFL. So he'll be with the PFL, I think, for another at least 3 fights after this one. It was either a 3-fight extension or a 2-fight extension, which puts him at 3 fights after this one, or 2 fights after this one. But yeah, I look at Max also being a little bit of a threat to Ilya, Armand for sure being a threat, and then outside of that, I mean, I think Patty could potentially be one down the road though. Patty's got some other fights he's got to work through. Patty versus Max would be a good fight. Patty versus Armand would be a good fight. Patty and Justin Gaethje, but I think Justin's already said that, if it's not a title fight, he'll just retire. But you got to be careful saying, because UFC doesn't like him. That's like threatening to them. They hate that. They're like, oh, you're trying to just tell us you don't want to fight anymore. Well, if you're thinking about retirement, maybe you should just retire. You've heard Dana say that plenty of times. Josh, the UFC has put Veronica Hardy as the first fight to open their event 7 times in a row. Do you think this is because they just want to get Dan Hardy out of the building as fast as possible? No, I don't think so. I think we're at a stage right now where they only have a very few stars in the female MMA. And so the ones that they have, they're hoping to build, and they can build them on the undercards, whether it's the first fight, second fight, third fight of the main card, whatever it is. or not main card, but on the oh, that was a bad stand-up, a very bad stand-up. He had like in a crucifix position from the bottom that could be considered a finishing position if done right. We've seen AJ McKee do it in one of his fights. I want to say against Darian Caldwell is who he did it to. So very, very strange that the ref decided to stand him up from that position. So see, this is when I wish I had Big John. Like, why would he stand him up from there? That is considered to be a finishing position. It could be if you have it in that crucifix type position from the guard and you've got the body lock around the waist, that kind of thing. So, man, Cartwright's fighting a very good fight. Very good fight. No, to answer your question, though, I don't think that they are trying to push Dan Hardy out of there as fast as possible. I mean, I'm sure they're not doing Dan Hardy's wife any favors by by having her on the because she's married to Dan Hardy. I mean, I'm sure about that. So until I think she does something spectacular that makes her stand out, I think that's where they'll probably continue to keep her, is like in the first 4 to 5 fights of the night on the prelims. So Alan Donecchi, I think is who it is. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading. Donahue is the font's real small for everyone's names. You think Hughes wins? Give me a reason on why and how does he do it? Oh, you have nothing to say? Okay. No. So, Alan, tell me, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking on how Hughes wins. Does he win by ripping the body? Does he win by getting takedowns? Does he win by chasing the submission? Does he win by knockout? Does he win? How does he do it? That's what I want to know. Look, I can sit here all day and tell you how I think he does it. But I want to know how do you guys think that Hughes wins if he does get the win? Who's Ilya fighting next? I think to answer your question, Meat Rocket, I think that they are waiting for the Islam fight to happen. And if Islam beats JDM, I think that's when they'll go ahead and schedule the Islam versus Ilya Topuria fight. That is the biggest fight they can possibly make right now as we speak. So that's the fight for them. I think across the board, that fight will probably take place somewhere over in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, or it may take place at the White House. I would not be surprised, and it would not shock me, because the U.S. is the melting pot of the world. And I think that having Islam and having Ilya Topuria, neither, from this country, and being there, that could potentially see them putting them as the main event on the White House card, because that is the biggest fight you can possibly make. So give me some questions, guys. Let's go ahead and give me some questions. Hughes he has to break Usman. I mean, he's going to have to try to break him. But how does he do it? That's the thing. How does he break Usman? In the first fight, it's easy to go ahead and say you broke him but then you still lost. But it's easy to say that you broke him because he looked tired. He looked like he was struggling to get takedowns. He looked exhausted. But in this fight, you can guarantee that he should be coming a lot more prepared. So should be. I have a question. Who do you guys have? You guys get, if we're let's talk about the UFC pay-per-view real quick. Who do you guys have is the for Yuri and Khalil Roundtree? I want to get people's opinion on that fight. Most people are going with Merab over Corey. Most people are going with Ankh over Alex, no matter how much they want Alex to win. But most people are going with Ankh over Alex. But the fight to me that's very interesting is the Yuri versus Khalil Roundtree fight. Can Khalil Roundtree clip him? Can he damage? Can he do work? Does he try to take him down and control him from the top position and try and land some nasty ground and pound and make him work from that position? How does Yuri get it done? Yuri's all over the place normally. So if Yuri's all over the place, like, how does he get it done? Does he catch him in some sort of funky way? And yeah. Let me see here. It says, Meat Rocket, Josh, who is your favorite fighter in history? Ooh, I've had a lot of fighters that I've really enjoyed watching fight. I think probably BJ Penn. BJ's probably my favorite fighter because I train with BJ. I trained with BJ before he had his first fight in the UFC, and we have a history together. For some of his fights, when he was in the UFC, he'd fly me out to Hawaii after he left AKA, and him and I would train together. For some of his fights that he had in the UFC. Yeah, I'd probably say BJ. BJ and I, he's had me out to do autograph signings and teach seminars at his UFC gyms in Hawaii. I've had him out when I opened up my UFC gym in California. I had him out to do, teach a seminar and to sign autographs and take pictures and hang out. And these are all things that they did, for free. He did it because he's a friend of mine. So, him, Frankie Yeager did the same thing. Frankie came out and was signing autographs and being there for me as well. And that was important to me. So I would have to say BJ probably. And Frankie's probably a close, Frankie's really close in that position too, because Frankie captivated me with his first fight in the UFC ever against Tyson Griffin. And I was like, who is this kid? Like, who is he? And then literally like one fight later, he's at AKA training. And I was like, oh, you're that kid. And then I was like, man, you're tiny. But then he was just putting it on me like, holy cow, this kid's all over the place. He's got good wrestling. Striking's not great, but he's fast and he's hitting me before I can get. And I was normally the faster guy at AKA. And so he just posed a big threat to me in terms of like all the things that I was trying to work through in my own career. But damn, he was good. Damn, he was good. So Yuri, so I got some of you guys are picking Yuri, some of you guys are picking Yuri, some of you guys are picking Khalil Roundtree. So, but it says Khalil don't have that Poetan power. He does not have the Poetan power, but Yuri does leave himself out of position a lot, and it's the shots that you don't see that connect. Like Poetan he's not a fast fighter. He's 38 years old. He's not out there, streaking, throwing 3 and 4 punch combinations quickly. He's got power. Khalil Roundtree is a little bit more explosive and faster than Poetan. He doesn't have the knockout power, but he does still have power. So he can catch Yuri, in some sort of transition, and the way Yuri leaves himself out of position, he can catch him that way. So these are all things to consider when you guys are watching that fight. How often and how much does Yuri leave himself out of position? And is Khalil Roundtree capitalizing on that? So I like that. Our dog says Roundtree is Bangkok ready. Yeah, I think that Khalil is somebody that he stays a little bit tighter with his defense. I think he can land, if he can land 1 or 2 shots, that'll rock Yuri, and then that'll give him an opportunity to pounce on him and finish him. Whereas I think with Poetan, he really just got to connect one time and kind of get you sat on your ass. Then he can put you away. He lets you back up, and then he can just really touch you up and put you away. Khalil's just going to have to make sure that he's not hesitating enough because he's afraid of that next thing coming. The funkiness of Yuri, the spinning back elbows, spinning back fist, the funky kicks, all of those things. In the same side, right hand, right head kick, same side, left hand, left head kick, those kind of things. So Yuri's got to be very cautious and careful of that. So Lorraine is doing a good job of keeping this top position. This is the 3rd round. There's 8 seconds left. 7, 6, 5, 4. Overall good fight though. But I think it seems like from what I could see, I thought Cartwright won the first 2 rounds. But it should be a good fight though. This was a fantastic fight, by the way. I was trying to answer you guys but man, Lorraine is a thick, stout fighter. And then you have Cartwright, who's a completely different, like tall, kind of skinnier fighter, but very technical, very good fight. So that was our first fight on the main card for the PFL. And tonight, let me just go back through it. We have next up on the card, which this should be a fantastic fight. I'll start talking more about the fights as we go. You got Sergio Pettis versus Nurmagomedov. Look for Nurmagomedov. He has very like funky style stand-up. And that funky style stand-up is like spinning back kicks, spinning back fists. He throws a lot of those, and he actually kind of shoots off of that as well. So if he misses a spinning back fist, he'll go right to a double leg off of that or a single leg off of that. So he's really good at making the transitions off of missed shots or missed punches. He'll shoot a nice double leg or single leg off of those. Very good on the ground, good submissions, good guillotines, all of those things. And then Sergio, he's got really good takedown defense, phenomenal takedown defense. But can he keep this thing on the feet and do what he wants? On the feet. He's tight, technical stand-up. He's got pretty decent power for a 135 pounder. For 125, I'd say he's got better power, but I think for 135, he's got pretty decent power. But Nurmagomedov's got a fantastic chin. So this comes down to like a little bit of a throwback fight You've got a wrestler mixed with like a different funky style of grappling or striking, I mean. And then you've got Sergio Pettis. And Sergio Pettis is someone who's just, obviously the Pettis family kind of reigns in that whole stand-up realm, right? They've got tricks up their sleeves, hide their kicks really well behind their boxing. And brother jumps off the fence a little bit, does different funky stuff, like those type of things. We'll see. We'll see what Pettis can bring. The 12-6 elbow makes it very interesting for me because Pettis, Anthony Pettis before used to try and do that off the fence. But he would do it more like an arcing with an elbow coming down because he couldn't do 12-6. But yeah, so Carre with the win. That's what I was expecting that after watching the fight. But yeah, I think that this fight, that fight could definitely be a really good fight back and forth. It's a throwback fight. You have a stand-up guy versus a wrestler. Both of them are very good in the other martial art in terms of wrestling and jiu-jitsu, as well as Magomed's very good in his stand-up. His kickboxing and stand-up. So this is going to be but one is definitely better than the other in each position. So Pettis is better at the striking and Magomed's better at the wrestling, but that doesn't mean that either one can't catch them in the other position. So here we go. Look, wait, let's see if this is coming up next. Let's see which one's next. Looks like they may have JJ Wilson and Archie Colgan coming up next, not Sergio Pettis and Magomedov, like Sherdog is here telling me. So Yep. Archie got big power in his hands, shorter, stockier guy, really good wrestling, phenomenal wrestler. And JJ Wilson, tall, long, lanky from New Zealand. He's got decent striking. It's a little sloppy, but it's still pretty good. It's not bad. What I mean by sloppy is that, he throws a lot from at range. Like he leans in a lot, he lunges a lot, like he leaves himself out of position a little bit here and there. But he's got power in his hands and he's got that reach and range to go ahead and touch you from far away. But I think JJ is the better grappler, but Archie's the better wrestler. So the difference there is that Archie can try to keep the grappling from happening by JJ by trying to keep this thing on his feet and utilizing his phenomenal wrestling to keep this on the feet and try to land that big shot, in terms of the boxing. Archie's got that. He's got that style of boxing where he fights you like in a phone booth, almost like a Paul Hughes. He's good and not just Paul Hughes, but also like Ilia Topuria. They fight kind of elbows tight, tucked tight, not a lot of movement, just moving the head slightly offline, making him miss, making him pay. And they make for some very action-packed fights because you cannot afford to leave yourself out of position at all, or guys like Archie Colgan will touch your chin and put you to sleep. So JJ, though, he's got to find a way to get this fight, I think, to the ground or keep himself all the way out because Archie's not a tall, long guy like JJ Wilson is. So this is another fight. You have Renan Ferreira that I'm really looking forward to by PFL. Is you have Renan Ferreira versus Nemkov. So Vadim Nemkov, and then you also have Chris Cyborg making her return to the PFL cage, and that's going to be a good fight. So I'm looking forward to that against Collins. So Cyborg versus Collins should be a good fight. Should be a very good fight. So let's see who's up next. I think it's Archie Colgan versus JJ Wilson, which means Sherdog got it wrong because Pettis and Magomed were supposed to go up. I think they will be the co-main to the co-main. So, but hey, if you guys have any questions, man, go ahead and hit me up. Kyle, Maximiliano Jury took down Alex, and Yuri has become much smarter fighter since then. Yeah, hit me up with some questions if you guys got while we're trying to kill some time. This is one of the things that I think the PFL needs to clean up. It's just their pace of fights. It's already kind of a little bit faster. You have the fighters, they went to a quick, 60-second commercial or 30-second commercial, and they are now back. They got a little bit of like their tail of the tape. This fight is a lightweight fight, 3 5-minute rounds. JJ Wilson and then Archie Colgan. Perfect. Dim the lights. Good. Let's do the intro. And now you have your first fighter walking. Phenomenal. Loved it. Love it. Glad that that's happening. Hopefully we don't see a fucking Tool concert right before the main event like they did last time. Or whatever, whoever did that. I mean, like just having concerts or rappers or artists do these type of things before the main event or the co-main event is absolutely just wild to me. Like they did that shit back at like UFC like 20, 25, 30, 32, 40. It never worked. It's a gimmick. People want to see fighters fight. That's all. I want to see the best fighters fight the best fighters, or I want to see the best matchup you can give me for the best matchup. That's what I want to see. Who are the two fighters you can put against each other that will make me want to sit and watch? Hey guys, Jacob, John McCarthy is not gone, bro. He's not dead. Like easy with the rest in peace, John McCarthy. John will be back. He definitely will. If it happens, Ilya versus Crawford, how do you think it? Look, I would like, no, John did not die. Jeez. Look, I would love to see the Ilya and Bud Crawford fight, but let's be honest. Ilya is like walking around 160, 170, maybe, probably 170 now, 170, 175. Bud Crawford's probably walking around about 180, 185. I mean, I could see them doing it. I could see it happening. I mean, you know, whoa. The Laird, 2-3. What are you doing, man? No, we're still around. I'm still doing this thing. Like I was just telling everybody on Tuesday night, we're gonna have Brian Stan. He'll be joining me. We'll be talking about probably the fallout of the pay-per-view card, and you know, and getting his opinion on moving on. Like there's a lot of fighters that are gonna be leaving the sport here come the next couple months, or maybe pretty much this year. You've got, you know, Dustin Poirier just retired. You got Justin Gaethje retiring. Max Holloway's getting a little bit older. I mean, you've got fighters that'll be leaving this sport here pretty soon. And I think it'll be good to hear from somebody like a Brian Stan. Like, how did you get out? Like, what was your focus once you did leave? Like, you went to getting right to a desk job or whatever it is you're doing, and so moving on from there. So I think those are all things that people should be wanting to know, especially fighters wanting to know. You know, how did someone like Brian Stan, remove himself from the sport and completely cut himself off? I mean, not many people have heard from him since he left the sport. So, Josh, did you enjoy fighting at those massive Pride Dream events? I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I fought there. I fought there 3 times. I think I fought there 3 times. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. You know, I mean, the last one, which was against Kawajiri, I was training for a different type of fight. They called me in literally the week of, like 3 days before they switched the fight from I was supposed to fight Shinya Aoki, and that fight got switched to fighting Kawajiri, who's a little bit different of a fighter. Then they're similar in terms of wrestling, but not really. You know that Inoki's just going to shoot, try and roll through to get takedowns, try to get to a body lock, whereas Kawajiri is going to shoot double legs, try and power W. So it was a different type of fight. It says, stop talking shit. Wayne isn't done. You guys, hey man, who and when does Shavkat fight? I heard that Shavkat just re-injured his knee. He will be out probably for another 6 to 10 months. Yeah, that is a fighter that I think the mystery just lingers, because he kind of reminds me a little bit of like Cain Velasquez, like a what if? What if he wasn't getting hurt? What if he didn't get hurt? Like, would he be the champion? So I don't know, man. Josh is going to be just fine. Yeah, I'll be fine, guys. I appreciate you guys having my back. Look, there's a lot of kinks we're going to have to get worked out. There's going to be a lot more live shows. I'm planning on probably doing lives on Mondays before every pay-per-view, and then doing probably a live right after the pay-per-view, just so we can do like a fallout and just talk about what's next for all these fighters. That's something I'm going to probably do. And then I'm also going to probably start doing it for pay-per-views, do my final thoughts on like Thursdays. This just so happened that this was a good card. This is a lot of fighters I've called their fights for the PFL, and then when they were fighting in Bellator. I've called JJ Wilson's fights. I've called Archie Kogan's fights. I've called Sergio Pettis fights, Magomedov, Corey Anderson, Yagshimirov. I've called all these fighters fights, Usman and Paul Hughes. I've called their fights. And so I thought to myself, look, these guys, I know how good they are. I know that they're, top cream of the crop. It's going to be a fun fight, a good night of fights. I was going to sit here and watch these fights anyways. I said, let's jump on. Let's talk with some of the members. Let's go ahead and see what they got to say about this. So, if you guys have questions, man, hit me up. Let me know. I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support the channel. I know even though we've got some negative Nancy's in there, but, I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. You got JJ Wilson, tall, long, lanky. Archie Kogan, you can see, is a shorter, stockier guy. Phenomenal wrestling, big power in his hands. has really good defense in terms of defensively sound on the feet. He can wrestle. He will if he needs to. He he doesn't really slow down. He kind of just stalks after, takes the center of the cage. JJ using that length right off the bat. Right now we're at 445. There you go. Beautiful takedown by Archie. Sags to the hip. I like what he's doing here. Archie sagging to the hip on one side. Big lift, mat return. He's got to be careful using a lot of energy, though, in this constant mat return. JJ's very good at getting himself back up. JJ's very comfortable on the ground. He's a phenomenal striker, on the feet as well. But his grappling is, I think, a slightly better. Maybe I would say even a little bit, not just a little bit, but a decent amount better than Archie's. But the wrestling, as you can tell right off the bat, Archie is a phenomenal wrestler. Big slams, big takedowns right off. So finally, it's noon. Cheers, boys. That's right. Cheers, my man. Cheers. Hustle Bones. Cheers. Yeah, this is going to be a great fight. So PFL picks. My picks, I'm going to go with Archie on this fight. He's going to have to make sure that he's not using too much of his energy in this first 2 rounds. He's going to have to keep some energy for this third round. JJ is somebody who just doesn't stop moving, doesn't stop scrambling. He makes the fight difficult. I have not yet seen JJ in a bad fight. He's always fun to watch. He's always chasing submissions, almost to his detriment. Like he chases them so much that he kind of has a tendency to slow down in the third round, but he still kind of pushes through, continues to fight. I got Archie in this fight. I think he gets it done. He's got the good boxing. He's got good wrestling. JJ looks phenomenal, though. JJ looks good. He was able to get back up. This is where Archie's got to be careful. You don't need to load up so much. Don't be so tense. This is a good fight for Archie, but it's a step up in competition against a good, talented fighter. And JJ is very, he hits hard. He's got power. On the ground, he can take this fight anywhere. His grappling is phenomenal. He's got good work, man. He's a fun fighter to watch. If I'm going to go Sergio Pettis and Magomedov, I mean, it's a tough fight. I'm going to go Magomedov. I look at Magomed. He's fought guys like Peter Yan several times. He's got big fights. He's fought, Patchy Mix, I think, twice. I mean, it's just there's tough fights for him out there. He's fought Rafion Stotts a couple times. He's fought Danny Sabatelli. He's fought everybody. And so there's nothing I think that Sergio's going to be able to bring to the table that Magomed hasn't fought and that he hasn't seen. So I'm going to lean towards Magomed on that fight. Corey Anderson, I think, gets it done again. That is a rematch fight. That's a nice knee up the middle. I like what JJ did. He threw the double shots. Then when Archie got inside that phone booth, he threw the knee right up the middle. And that's where I think the height and the long arm is able to pull down on Archie's head to try to pull him into the knee is perfect. That's exactly what JJ should be doing. Oh, big shot to the groin. And, Derek Miner with the whole, hey, buddy, get away. They're going to take a look at the replay. We're going to see if it landed. JJ wagging the finger like a clean Olajuwon. No. Oh, yeah, that was right there. What do you mean no? Woo. You got him right up in the taint. The foot actually wrapped up into the taint a little bit. Yeah. Oh, and we're back. I mean, look, to be real, most fighters fight with a steel cup. And when you fight with a steel cup, I mean, it really just kind of like juggles, kind of like jars it a little bit. And sometimes it'll pinch. But I very rarely see, he got hit a little bit there. Nice head kick by JJ. Very rarely did I ever get kicked in the nuts and it hurt me more than it hurt the other person because of the steel cup. Ooh, nice armbar transition. This is where I was concerned for Archie a little bit, is like being in the guard. Sure, you have ground and pound, but the active guard of JJ Wilson in this first round, maybe the first round and a half, kind of scared me. Because right now, I mean, I got to be honest, I've got JJ slightly ahead in this round, slightly, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad if it went the other way. The big takedowns maybe could win Archie the round, but to me, JJ's doing a damage from the bottom, chasing the submissions. There you go, right there. These type of takedowns and mat returns, big deal, but he's not doing a lot of damage from this position. So I think that's possibly where they may lean towards JJ. Good fight, though. Great fight. 30 seconds left. If you guys are following me on the time frame here, 30 seconds left. JJ had a good head kick earlier, and he was able to hit Archie with some good shots earlier as well in the exchange. And remember, we're going by damage. Just because John's not here, I'm going to go ahead and reiterate exactly what he says all the time. The ruling system is all about the damage. Oh, man. BKFC tomorrow with Mike Perry and Jeremy Stevens. You are absolutely correct. Raw dog, our dog. Ooh, big shot by Archie, though, with a nice right hand. Kind of rocked JJ a little bit. That's a close round to score. The takedowns, I think, possibly won him. And then, whew, I don't know. But, I mean, if you look at who landed the harder shots, it's probably going to be JJ. So, I mean, this is a toss-up round. Toss-up round. I'm going to lean towards Jeremy Stevens. That's what I'm leaning towards Jeremy on this. And maybe a little bit of my bias. And I've trained with Jeremy. I know Jeremy. Jeremy called me out. I ran into Jeremy at Broca 2 or 3, I think. And he's like, hey, man, you thought that Eddie was going to beat me? And I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. I thought he was getting mad. He's like, no, it's cool, man. I get it. I was like, hey, I thought that Eddie was going to come in a lot bigger. Ooh, big shot right there by Archie. I thought that Eddie was going to come in too big for him, and it wasn't exactly where it was. I'm not sure where the BKFC is. I'm assuming it's on like a pay-per-view model. So I probably have to look it up and see. It says, do you know why Frankie got pulled? I look, the Frankie situation is, yeah, it's gonna be, they're gonna have to go back and forth, I think, and really kind of and figure out where they messed up. So, and I'm talking about BKFC, not Frankie Edgar. If the commission approves me and all my medicals, and they say I can fight, and then you have your independent doctors come in and say I can't fight because I've lost 2 or 3 of my last fights by KO or TKO, then what do we have doctors for? I went to a doctor, got all my medicals cleared, went to the commission. The actual state commission approved me, said I was okay to fight. I did all the training, did all the work. Oh, good exchanges right there by both these guys, JJM and Archie. And then you guys went out and got independent doctors for some reason. Why would you do that? That's one thing I want to know is, like, you wouldn't see, like, unless the commission came back and said, hey, like, we want to look more into this, but the commission would have done that. So I don't know. I can't tell you why, like, they would go out and do that. It just doesn't make any sense. Josh, when are you getting back in slapping Nate Diaz around? Nate's doing everything he can to fight somebody else. So they've already sent out a contract to him. So, ooh, big slam by Archie. Good job. Great exchanges before that as well. Nate just doesn't want to fight. He just keeps talking about everyone. Look, Dustin Poirier is a huge name for him to fight. And he's already saying, oh, you're already owned. You can't fight, this and that. Whatever it is, I'm not sure. But he's keeping himself active on social media. But let's not forget, I think he's almost 40 years old now. So there's not much time left, especially with all that scar tissue around his eyes. But Archie with the big takedown, looking phenomenal. Oh, guys. Yeah, I was just checking with some people from the commission, and they were just talking about the Frankie situation, and they're like, yeah, basically, like, we had them, everything was approved, and it was the BKFC. So BKFC had their own independent doctors that did this, and that's what they were talking about. So start talking shit about Nate. We've talked trash to Nate. My manager is friends with his manager, and we've presented everything. I said, I'll fight you in bare knuckle boxing. I'll fight you in karate combat. I'll fight you in just regular boxing. We can do 6 rounds. We can do 8 rounds. We can do 10 rounds. We can do it. Whatever you want to do it. Misfit Boxings is been clear that they're interested in doing it. Other boxing promotions have talked about it. No one's ever been like, hey, this is what we'll pay you guys. I think there'd have to be more worked out in the equation, but it definitely could be presentable. You heard what's it called? You heard BKFC say that they've offered Nate a fight. and he decided, no, there's too much scar tissue around his eyes. That I was interested in doing the BKFC thing because to me, like I got a lot of street fights as a kid, and that just kind of gives me like flashbacks of just wanting to do it one more time. If you want to do it one more time, you might as well do it with bare knuckle. So that to me that kind of excited me. I think a little bit. I was actually with Frankie last June for the 4th of July, the end of June into 4th of July, and we talked about like if you were going to come back, what we're going to do. He's like, I'll do some grappling. He's like, but BKFC does kind of like interest me a little bit. And so the fact that he went and he did it, he signed the contract, got the deal done. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. So, but unfortunately, it came up where they went and found reasons not to have him fight, which is very shocking to me. I mean, if you're BKFC, you knew beforehand that you've seen Frankie's history. You know everything about his history. You're obviously a fan. So, says, JJ doing a good job. JJ's been getting taken down, but JJ doing a good job at fighting in range. But this is where I feel like the fight for Archie is finally starting to settle in a little bit. And didn't Nate and George didn't even get paid for the no, they got paid. They just didn't get paid the full amount. And it was George Masvidal's promotion, I believe. It was mixed in with Fenmio, but Masvidal was actually helping to fund the whole thing. And no, they did not get scammed. Is that in the contract, Nate Diaz had signed a contract to say that he would do a certain amount of media, and they had that media laid out in the contract. And in that contract, Nate didn't do that media. And so that was a breach of contract. So they decided not to pay him the portion of which they thought cost him the pay-per-view buys. And so since that happened, they said, hey, we'll pay you this much. I think they paid him $6 million or $7 million. He was, I guess, supposed to be guaranteed $10 million. And so since he didn't do the media stuff, which they thought led to the lower numbers that they would have gotten had he done the media stuff, that's why they held back the rest of the money. But the management, I think, went after them, and and I think Fenmio is now gone. I don't think they do shows anymore, and completely just stopped doing boxing. So I think in those type of situations, look, if you sign a contract to do media to build up your fight, which you're the draw to, like, I mean, you would have thought that he would have wanted to do it so he could have got paid the full amount, but I don't know. I mean, either way, like that promotion doesn't seem to be doing boxing anymore. So I'm not sure if he finally did get the rest of his money, but they did pay him a certain amount. I like how JJ is coming out right now. Aggressive, long range kicks, keeping that push kick busy to kind of keep Archie at bay. Yeah. Use those head kicks. If you guys watch a lot of MMA fights, nice straight right by Archie. He's got to follow up though with another straight left. So go right hand, straight jab, and maybe come back over with an overhand right from there. Archie with the good jab. JJ just playing pitter patter right now. He's got to start having to put some power on his shots because Archie's not really respecting him. You can see the power difference when the two of them land their shots. Archie doing a good job being a defensive fighter. His defense is on point when it comes to his boxing. The buildup was kind of crazy, though, that the street fight brawl was crazy. Yeah, I get all of that. But when you're the week of the fight or 2 weeks of the fight and you have media lined up, whether it's like doing, podcast, interviews, whatever it is, you've got to do those to help keep it in people's minds. So. Oh, I actually, Brian Stan, I do get a little bit jealous of that chin, man. He's got one hell of a chin. That's hilarious, though. Kyle Rhino, that's funny, man. It's true, though, man. He's a good looking dude. He's obviously a lot bigger than me and built better than me. So he's got that military. I don't know about that tattoo, though. He's got a tattoo. I recall that I was like, I don't know. I feel like you got forced into getting that when you're in the military. So good shot by JJ. This has been a good fight, man. If you guys are watching this fight, this has been a really good fight. Nice little overhand right. I got Archie winning. I would say probably Archie won the first round. Archie won in the second. Got hit in the groin a little bit. Oh, tried to stop fighting. Gotta always keep fighting, man. Ooh, nice body lock takedown. This is, yeah. Ooh, nice armbar transition. A little too sweaty right there, able to pull out. I'm at 2 minutes and 55 seconds on the app. 253, 252, 251. So, yep. Good positioning. Archie's got to get busy so they don't stand him up. They're in round 3. I know the judges and the refs now, or not the judges, but the refs are trying to make sure that fighters are not just doing body, head. They're trying to fight for position. They're trying to do damage. They're trying to advance position. You have to be trying to do damage. And if you're not trying to do damage, you have to be trying to advance your position. He's doing some work, give a little bit of posture. JJ can't afford to sit here for 2 minutes. He's got to get his back to the fence, or he's got himself locked into this body lock. All that body lock does is just keep you where you're at. You cannot win the fight from this body lock position. So JJ got to be a little bit more active with his guard, whether that is attacking arm bars, triangles, getting wrist control, whatever it is, he's got to get a little more active. Oh yeah. Good job by Archie controlling. He's got to suck his hips back. There you go. You see him looking to kind of shelf the leg. King Mo was one of the first guys that I ever trained with that worked on shelfing the leg. And he had just did a phenomenal job. Watching him fight some guys in Strike Force where he would shelf their leg and just beat the crap out of them. It was just insane. I watched him do it to Archie Colgan. I watched him, I think, do it to Seth Petrozelli, I think is who it was. I mean, King Mo just had some nasty, vicious ground and pound. And his wrestling ability was just way underrated. Drastically underrated. Even though he had great credentials, not a lot of people talked about his wrestling, his ability, and his control from the top position. Yeah, you got 1 minute left. Got 50 seconds left. JJ's got to get something going. I won't be able to hear the scorecard, so if you guys can, go ahead and let me know what the scorecards say when they announce it. But right now, I've got either Archie. It's either 1-1, Archie winning round 3. Big slam. Beautiful wrestling. Ooh, nasty elbows. Nasty. Ref looking close. Yeah, just a dominant third round by Archie, man. Phenomenal. Just got that. He doesn't have that far side underhook, but he got the far side hip ride. Got that left knee inside. JJ can't afford to hang out here. It's only 5 seconds left. Fell back to guard, try to chase that submission that last bit. So, damn. In the Granite, thanks for the super chat. Says all Irish and Italians with balls came to America. Is that so? Look, man, Archie, man, phenomenal fight. Thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. In the Granite 617. Thanks, guys. Good fight. I got Archie either winning 30-27 or 29-28. I could see it being 30-27 if you go based off of the first round. It was a close round. Could have seen them giving it to JJ though in some of the exchanges, but I think rounds 2 and 3 were definitely clear cut for Archie Colgan, especially the nasty elbows, quick, short elbows, heavy. You can see that JJ was rocked in that last little exchange, and shouldn't be too difficult to tally up the scorecards on this one. So we got a little bit of time. Hey, you guys go ahead and says Chemo could have KO'd an elephant. Possibly. Yeah, he did. King Mo did KO Yuri in Ryzen. This is true. I think didn't he? No, he didn't. I thought maybe he KO'd or but he didn't. I don't think he did. I think he fought him though. The guy from Croatia. Jesus, come on, what's his name? Head kick. Left leg hospital. 30-27, Archie Colgan. Is that what you guys are thinking? Josh, if you were to fight Ilya Topuria in your prime, how would you get the win? Oh man, he's a tough fight. His style of his style, his body. For me, I always had a hard time with guys that were good wrestlers and shorter. So I used to train with guys like Koscheck, and I know that Koscheck's a phenomenal wrestler, but I used to train with guys like Justin Wilcox, another good wrestler. But those kind of guys, when I wrestled them in high school, I wrestled them in college, and I wrestled, and I Crow Cop. Thanks for the name, Hustle Bones. I would every time I'd have to fight guys like that, or train guys with like that, or wrestle with guys, or train with jiu-jitsu with guys like that, I always had a hard time with them. Always had a hard time with guys that were short and stocky. So I think with Ilya, I would work on, kind of kicking that inside leg or outside leg. Calf kicks weren't really around when I was in my prime. So if we're taking it back to that time, or do I know about calf kicks? That kind of thing. I would say that I would probably look to work on that inside calf kick and outside calf kick quite a bit, and the push kick up the middle, which he does a great job of kind of parrying away and then countering off of that. So I'd try and throw that a couple times to kind of see how it went. Go ahead and read me the judges' scorecards when you guys hear them, because I can't hear them. But yeah, I think there's that. And then for me, honestly, I think most people are thinking the same way. Get the fight to the ground. You've got to be thinking get the fight to the ground, because on the feet, the guy that short and that stature, good. He's defensively sound. He's got big power, trying to get in, trying to hit the body, and all of those things. You're putting yourself in harm's way every time you get into exchanges with Ilya Topuria. So I would have tried to get the fight to the ground. I would have wrestled him to the fence, would have put pressure on him, try to maybe hang on the head because he is shorter than me. Try to hang on the head, maybe get to the arm and guillotine, something along those lines. Now, I do know that people have talked about his grappling's really good. He's got some good grappling. But let's be honest, I mean, his grappling would be very good, but his striking's, I think, better. So I think the way to beat him would be to try to get him to the ground. That's where I think Arman Sarukian's probably his toughest fight. And that's a fight to make. I think you make Arman Sarukian versus him, which would be the most otherwise you start having people talk about he ducked Arman. Like he didn't want to fight Arman because Arman's a wrestler. And then you kind of then it's kind of that whole Conor McGregor talk, right? Like Conor never fought a wrestler until, he fought Chad Mendes, but it wasn't Chad took the fight on short notice. That was really his only real wrestling fighter until he fought Khabib, which he lost to. So, and if you go back and watch the Chad Mendes fight, he was losing that fight in the first round, and Chad got exhausted and got tired, and then he was able to put Chad away. But the what ifs of how would Chad have been had he had a full camp? We'll never know. I was hoping to see them run that fight back. I think a lot of people were, but they never did. So, let's go ahead and see. Here we go. Magomedov. If you guys don't know anything about Magomedov, he's got a win over Peter Yan. I've said that a couple times on this pod already. And everyone knows Sergio Pettis, Anthony Pettis' little brother, but someone who's really kind of come into his own. Guy's a phenomenal fighter, became a Bellator bantamweight champion, ended up losing the title to Patchy Mix. He is a little small, I think, for the weight, but he got tired of cutting the weight down to 25, and so he's at 35. So in this fight, look, you've got a guy like Magomedov who is phenomenal with his wrestling, phenomenal with his submissions as well. His stand-up is very unorthodox, very all over the place. A lot of spinning things, which lead him right into his wrestling. He is not someone to be overlooked. And I think he's got the advantage in the wrestling department and in the submission department. But Anthony Pettis is not Anthony, but Sergio Pettis not to be overlooked, man. He's good at takedown defense. He's good at getting himself back up to his feet. And he's also very, very good in terms of his striking. He mixes up his strikings, his kicks and his striking behind his punches. He does a great job. So Conor did better than a lot against Khabib. I would agree with you 100%. He did better until about round 3 or until the end of round 2. Remember, he got smashed in round 2, and then Khabib took round 3 off, and then he came back and got the finish in round 4. So he did better in those first couple exchanges. But after that, once he got 1 or 2 takedowns, Conor just wasn't equipped to handle that type of wrestling. It's nasty. Now, to be fair, not a lot of people are. I train with Khabib every day, every time he came into town, every day. And I was wrestling all the time with guys like John Fitch, Josh Koscheck, other, top level wrestlers. And I still struggle when the Habib came in to stop his takedowns or to wrestle at the length of which he wrestled, just nonstop for 3 rounds or 2 rounds or whatever it is. It was just nonstop. The pressure, the way he would make you carry his weight, all of those things. Habib couldn't take down the roid monster Gleason Tebow. I mean, he did get I think he got 1 or 2 takedowns in that fight. Wasn't able to really do much with it, but I believe he did take him down. But you're talking a guy. I mean, like if you had ever stood next to Gleason Tebow, you'd realize he walks around 200 and made 155. That's why he never had cardio in the 3rd round. All you had to do was avoid getting hit by him in the 1st round, and then after that, the fight you could take over. You had to make him fight a very, very tough fight in the 1st round without getting caught like in some sort of submission or without getting knocked out. And if you could do that, then you then you can then you could have survived in the 2nd round and could have started to take over the fight. Nah, he didn't get a single take. He didn't? Are you sure? I'm gonna have to go back through that and look. Hmm. Hmm. I don't believe so. I thought he finished the fight on top of Gleason Tebow at the very end of the fight. Hmm. Yeah, this is true. Habib was in his young age. He didn't have his man body yet. Kind of strange, a little suspect that you recognize that. Habib and Marab are mentally on a different level. Yeah. I mean, Marab is really kind of paving his own way. He's doing a fucking fantastic job of making himself marketable. I mean, there was a moment where the UFC was actually trying to trade Marab for Dakota Disheva before Marab became champion. And that never just came to fruition. So that didn't happen. And then Marab went on to be champion, and the rest is history. Marab's done a good job of marketing himself. He's put himself out there. He's made himself very fun, and you can just see the personality in him is real. That's who he really is. I saw that clip of him. I think he was waking up in the morning or whatever it is, and he was yelling to Aljo's house. Aljo, my brother. They're neighbors, like 3 houses down. They're neighbors. They live on the same street, and they're like yelling at each other through their through their off their balconies in the front yard. I think one of the other neighbors like, "Hey guys, what are you doing? Stop yelling." He's like, "No, it's okay. It's okay." Like, I mean, what are you gonna do, buddy? You gonna beat him up? Doubt it. But yeah, this is one of those. Aljo's a great guy, man. I love watching him fight. I am looking forward to seeing if Corey does get the win. Cool. If Marab gets the win, are they gonna do the rematch right away? If Umar is able to get his win against Batista, that's a very tough fight for Umar, I believe, as well. Should be a fun fight. Batista looked absolutely phenomenal against Patchy Mix. And yeah, here we go. We got Sergio Pettis versus Magomedov in their starting the 1st round. We're at 442, 441, 440. And here we go. There's the spinning kicks that I was talking about. He'll throw spinning back kicks, spinning back fist. He does a lot of spinning stuff off of that because he knows if you step inside, that puts you close enough for him to basically turn that into a wrestling. And if you move away, then he can shoot a long distance double leg. There's a spinning back fist that I was telling you about. He's very explosive. He's a little bit all over the place. He does not look the part. He doesn't look ripped. He doesn't look shredded. He's just a fighter. He's got a gas tank from hell, comes in shape, and he doesn't get the respect he deserves, Magomedov. And I don't think Pettis does either. He's been trying to get out of the shadow of his brother. Even though his brother's pretty much no longer fighting, but Pettis has had a good run for himself. Bellator champion, I believe. I thought he won the Ryzen title. I cannot remember or recall. But yeah, I mean, he's had some big fights, man. Some really big fights. I like what Pettis is doing, kind of keeping him at range. Is it true Habib was not able to take down Islam ever? No, that's not true. No, that's not true. Look, I think what you have to remember is when you have a true friendship, like as in a true relationship with someone that you've known. I mean, I believe I've asked Habib this a couple times, and him and Islam have been friends since they were, I think, like 3 or 4 years old. Um, that's it, man. Like all they want is the best for each other, and I think that's what separates them from other countries or other cultures. Is they have been lifelong family friends for such a long time that they don't allow anything else to get in their way. And yeah, I think it's wild. It's wild because we don't really have that, I think, as much here in the States. I don't know how other countries are, like the UK or Brazil or Japan but yeah, I mean, these guys have, kind of lived, I think, in the same villages and competed in the same stages in Sambo and had the same coaches and trained with the same training partners. And this is their life. This has been their life for a long period of time. Ooh, nice shot though by Magomed. Another nice shot. That little left hook by Magomed is finding a home. Nice work. Nice straight left by Pettis. Very nicely done. Kind of that battle of position, right? Now Pettis switches to orthodox. Ooh, nice little switch kick in the air. Didn't land, but kind of cool to see the flashy stuff every once in a while. I'm at 142, 141, 140 in the round. I don't know where you guys are at if you guys are watching. How does Habib do against Chimaev? Just different sizes, man. I really couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I mean, Chimaev is a long, tall body who can wrestle really well. Ooh, nice flying knee right there. Nice jumping knee. Able to catch Pettis against the fence. Beautiful takedown by Magomed. Little step behind, like kind of hip toss. Magomed hit Pettis with, dropped him. He's now top. He's like in a little in a half butterfly guard kind of position. He's in full guard now. Pettis is. You got Magomed posturing up. This is what Magomed does very well. He kind of he utilizes his like length. He's got long arms, long legs, and he postures up and is able to stand over you. And then he keeps his hand locked around your waist so he can suck you back and then let go and then do damage. Nice knee to the body against the fence. Nice knee. I love this too. Like he basically scooted him off. He like sucked him away from the fence so he could get that far side hip ride. And now he's just hanging on Pettis' head. He's got him in that. He's looking like he's going for that little cradle position. Knee in the butt. Just staying busy in these positions. Nice knee to the body by Magomedov. Ooh, surprised to see that Pettis didn't just hop back up. He threw the head kick, miss, ended up slipping on the mat, ended up on the bottom. Now you got Pettis like in this little like leg lock position. Oh, round is ended. Good round for Magomedov. Good round. Yeah, Pettis got to get a little bit more busy with the striking. Got to look maybe to rip the body a little bit more with the boxing. I'd probably minimize how much I throw body kicks only based on the potentially my foot's getting caught. Nice little foot sweep there. That little foot trip by Pettis. Would they ever really do Conor versus Chandler as the main event at the White House? No, I don't think they would do Conor versus Chandler as the main event at the White House. Not if you have John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. And I'm kind of going to follow what I think Henry Cejudo said is I think that Dana White's going to cave. I think he's going to cave to John Jones, and you're going to see Tom Aspinall. If he gets the win over Cyril Gane, I think you're going to see Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. If Cyril Gane beats Tom Aspinall, the John Jones fight goes out the door. I don't think John will be fighting at the White House. No one wants to see Cyril Gane versus John Jones 2 after the first time they fought. No one wants to see that. You can't have that on the card. So that fight goes away. Conor, for me, the fight to make, honestly, is Conor versus Max Holloway for the BMF title. That's the fight to make. You make that as the main event if you're going to have Conor on the card. That's the only thing I think to make. Ooh, nice little trickery there by Pettis, but put himself on the bottom now. Nice transitions there by Pettis. Not able to get all the way back up to his feet. Magomed doing a good job of defending the armbar. Circle behind, got the far side. Hip control. Doing a good job. Just doing work. Pettis got to work on getting back up to his feet. Right to the figure four. Yeah, you've got Magomedov on a figure four. This is where he lives. He lives in this position, working the choke. Pettis doing a good job of wrist control and defending off right now. Got to try using your knees to try to use your feet or your knees to try to unlock that figure four, because the fence kind of stopping him from rolling to that side. So tough go right now. Tough go for Pettis. You have Yag Shamirodov in the little caption down below. He's getting ready to make his walk for Corey Anderson. Magomed having a dominating second round. There are 3 minutes left in the second round. He's got the back with the figure four. Good control. Looked like he was working for the twister there for a second. I don't know if Javier's there tonight. I'm not sure. I know that I believe Islam is on his way to train in New York or New Jersey area. I think for the rest of the camp. And so I'm not sure if Islam and them made the trip out to this or not. Maybe yeah, maybe not. Nice, back to the figure four. So he was able to sit him up a little bit to put his hooks in. Yeah, Corey Anderson down there on the bottom right corner, showing a little behind the scenes before he makes his walk. The Corey Anderson fight versus Yag Shamirodov is a title fight as well, which is kind of shocking that they decided to put the lighter guys as the main event, which is great. It's not shocking. I shouldn't say that. It was great that they did that, because that's what they should have done. You know, the biggest star, I think, in the PFL right now is Usman, Paul Hughes being one of them. You know, you've got some talented fighters, and that lightweight division is between those two guys. You got Alexander Shabley as well, who's a really talented fighter as well. John Jones versus Daniel Cormier 3. I mean, you guys saw, I believe Daniel lost like 30, 40 pounds or 50, 60 pounds. So he looks good too. Nice job by Pettis getting out of that position, working for his triangle position. Ooh, nice little up kick by Pettis. He's got to work on getting himself back to his feet. You cannot just hang out with your feet up on the hips. Just because Khabib is out there right now, you've got Zabit there on the left. I can't see the far side guy because of the lighting, but you got Zabit there and you got Khabib there, and Javier might be in the back. He might be in the back with Usman, probably warming him up, getting him moving, doing whatever. So I wouldn't be surprised if Javier is there. Yeah, Magomedov doing a good job. Watch for a jump. There you go. So watch for a jump. Oh, what the hell just happened? What in the hell just happened? Did he hit him with a little back elbow? Holy cow. What just happened? All I could see was the back of him when he hit that jump, and then he just took a step back and fell to his back. Holy cow. What a whole, let's take a look at this. Come on, show it. What are you taking you guys so long with the replay? Let's go. Wow. What does he hit him with? Oh, spinning back elbow right off of that flying knee. Beautifully done. Tried to throw the side kick, couldn't get it. Boom, hit the spinning back elbow right across the top of the forehead. Rock Magomedov, and then finishes up with one follow-up punch. Fight is done. Just wow. Wow. Jeez. He was losing every second of that round up until that point. Sean O'Connor. You mean who won? What do you mean who won? Sergio Pettis won with a spinning back elbow after losing basically every second of that round. And a 3.5 underdog is what someone was just telling me. Holy cow. What, like, look, first round was kind of a back and forth battle. They had some good moments. I gave it to Magomedov. Second round, it definitely was Magomedov. Sergio was losing every minute of that round. He got his back taken, was almost getting choked. Pettis just doing his thing, and boom, the craftiness, the ability, and just to take a chance. The foresight to be like, you know what, let's just try this and see what happens. I've already lost the round. What else could happen? Landed cleanly right across the top of the forehead, sat him down, and then the one shot to follow up. Beautifully done by Sergio Pettis. Beautifully done. Yeah, I mean, look, I would have given it. I thought Magomed was going to win that fight. I was wrong. Sergio Pettis with the win. But just caught me off guard. I'm over here chatting, and I was like, oh, this round's in the bag. He jumps a flying knee, and I didn't even see where it landed. I thought it was more like an upward back elbow that landed. Holy cow. What it takes, like, understanding where you're at in the fight. I've had my back taken a couple times. I've been taken down repeatedly. I've been controlled this whole round. Like, I've already lost the round. Let's just throw this and see what happens. He threw the flying knee, didn't get it. Here we go. If you guys are watching, threw the side kick, missed it, actually got clipped a little bit with the right hand by Magomed, and then threw the spinning back elbow off of that. Why Magomed was still almost like a Aaron Pico situation. It was a very similar type situation, like where he just stepped in, but found himself in this space where he didn't know what to do. Do I wrap the hands around the waist? Do I try and throw another punch? What do I do? And in that position, there was nothing there. And then the spinning elbow came perfectly timed right across the forehead. Great work. I love it, man. I love seeing Habib. I love seeing him with all the coaches, Duke Rufus, all these guys. I mean, like, it's wild, dude. It's wild. Sergio, huge win. Huge win. Jeez. Wow. Just phenomenal. Phenomenal performance. I know it wasn't everything that he wanted it to be. I know it wasn't, I didn't have him winning the fight. Usman versus Paul Hughes. That fight's going to be coming up after this next fight. You got Corey Anderson versus Yagshimeridov. And then after that fight will be the Usman versus Hughes. Stay with us. Keep chatting with us. If you guys have any questions why we're in between this fight, go ahead and drop me some questions. Appreciate the tips and the super chats. Those of you guys that have already done that, thank you guys so much. Keep them coming. And, like I said, I know it's the PFL. Everyone's like, oh, I don't watch these fights. Yeah, but there's some good fighters on this main card. And when I recognize, I want to give recognition to these fighters, man. These guys, Pettis, this was a fantastic fight. Losing the fight almost every second of the fight, especially the second round, he was losing. And it worked. It gave me the little flashbacks to the Yair Rodriguez fight versus Korean Zombie. So great job, man. Great job. Through the side kick, wasn't there. Boom. Right across the forehead and just out. Damn. Magomedov, he just found himself in this zone where there was too much space and was just walked right in. Head sitting right there. Didn't see it coming. Beautifully timed by Pettis. Nice job, young man. Nice job. I believe he just had his first baby. He's married now, enjoying his life. Good for him. Good for him. Love it. Every time I've ever hung out with him and chatted with him and interviewed him, and man, he's a good kid. Very good kid. So could have happened to a better kid. I know he worked hard for this, and good for him, man. Good for him. So, man. So someone's asking for a Josh. It says top shell. What does it say? Top shell? Top Shoda? Shoda? Is that it? Sorry, it's hard. I have my contacts in, but still have a hard time. Don't trust him. Our dog goes, don't trust him. Josh, I'm 22. Bro, you know how these apps work, right? I want to make sure you guys know. I can invite you on, and then you can use the link to come on, and then I can just kick you out whenever I want. That's how these things work. So once I kick you out, that's how it works. So and then like you don't get back in until I approve you, and you can just sit kind of in the chamber waiting to be let in. So that's pretty funny. Yeah, those of you guys that threw me down some super chats, I want to thank you guys so much. Continue to go ahead and keep those coming if you guys want. Let's answer some questions, man. We got some time between this and the next fight. Throw me what you guys got. My YouTube name is For Fun. I DM'd you in Insta. Okay. All right. Well, it says John's White 941. But are you white though? Or is your last name White? I have questions about this. In the granite, you keep still in my number one ranking. I'll throw one of those spinning elbows on you. That's what we got to do, man. We've got to have, that's what I've got to do. We've got to have a contest where we have two of our members take like a Train Alta program, and then we have you guys fight at the end. We wear headgears. And if you guys don't know anything about Train Alta is a great program where they take people who have never trained, and they train them for like 20 weeks in their area, in their local area. And then we match you up against whoever in very similar skill sets. And they have big events at the UFC gyms. And they basically bring you into a cage. You've got a team and a coach that coaches you. And then you fight against someone of an equal level or talent. That might be something. Let's do that. S. White is a high school. S. White is a high school nickname. S. White. What does S stand for? Tell me what the S stands for. Mm-hmm. Says, oh, you're down? Our dog is down. He said he's down. Anybody else want to do this? I think this might be some fun. I'm in. All right. Oh, look at that. It says Top Shotta. It says, my name is John Saga. How do you say that? Sagagino? It's like Cat Zingano. That's what it sounds like. He's trying to steal your name, Josh. Don't fall for it. Oldest trick in the book. What do you mean trying to steal my name? What's this whole trying to steal my name? Top Nigerian Shotta. Yeah, if you guys got any questions, man, what do you guys think of Dakota Dacheva? Damn, she's tall drink of water, man. She can fight. She's got like that mean streak in her. Big John used to compare her to Carlos Condit. Like Carlos Condit, when you met him in person, was like a super nice guy. Just really, really nice guy. Who do I have winning the next fight, Corey or Yags? I've got Corey winning the fight. I think Corey gets his fight to the ground. He's able to control the top position, do some ground and pound. I wonder, it may end up going the full 5 though. I don't know if he can get him out of there, but I think it may end up going the full 5. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, everyone asking, like, it says, what's your social security number? Top Shotta. Yeah, send me your social security number, and then I'll go ahead and let you in. She's tall, long, and lanky. Yes, she is. 9:15 a.m. She is tall, long, and lanky, and she's got a mean streak to her. Like she knows when she hurts you, man. She's putting it on you. So I mean, like, look, the two biggest stars I think in the PFL. You got Usman Nurmagomedov and you got Dakota Dacheva, and I think because she doesn't fight as much, I think Chris Cyborg is still a big star. She just doesn't fight as much as she used to when she was younger. But for the brand itself, I think those are probably their biggest stars they have right now. Got some talented fight. I'm excited for Costello Van Steenas and what he can do moving forward and who he's going to fight next. And then I'm looking for obviously Johnny Eblin to get back on, see who he's going to fight next. So Usman versus Paul finish. You think so, huh? Give me an idea on how you think he's going to finish. Who's going to finish and how? Hosh. So many new fans. Never even heard of Condit. I know, it's crazy, man. You're going to FaceTime me on Insta? Yeah, I don't know about that, buddy. Trying to steal my name, huh? I don't know how you steal my name on Insta, but I'm not taking a chance. I don't trust you. I feel like, are you from Nigeria? Huh? Next thing you know, you're gonna send me like marriage papers. You want me to bring you over so we can get married? I mean, no fighters belong in the top 10 who've done steroids. So excluding them, is he top 10? Is who top 10? Usman? You know, I'm gonna say this, that the Russian fighters, I know they've gotten a lot of flack for this whole steroid thing, but I think we have to remember that there's a supplement called melatonin. Like it's like I don't know. But Maria Sharapova got suspended for it. The Olympic athletes weren't allowed to compete because a lot of them had been using it. They've been using these since they were kids because it's an over-the-counter drug, apparently, that you're allowed to use. And I was told that it's like a vitamin. That it's like basically us taking like our vitamins every morning. They would wake up and they would take their little like group of vitamins, and that being one of them. So I don't know. I don't live in Russia. I don't live in, in these areas. But I know that pretty much a lot of this is why they had the ban, I think, of the Russian Olympic team. Not only on top of that, but like Maria Sharapova, she got like a 2-year suspension from tennis because of that. So I think they were able to get time to get it out of your system, I think, or something along those lines. But I can't really speak much further on it than that. I mean, if it's something that used to be legal and then now is not legal, I mean, it's a tough situation. I get it, but all the fighters, everyone knows now on what you can and cannot take. I don't know. This is gonna be a good fight, though. You have Corey Anderson versus Yag Shamiradov. This is a rematch. They have fought before. Corey was able to get the win. It's gonna be a good fight. Yag's has gotten a lot more comfortable on the feet. I believe Corey was Yag's first fight in Bellator. I believe they were their first fight together was against each other, I believe. And or maybe it was the second fight. Maybe it was him versus Julius Angliscus, I think is who he fought first. And then after that fight, he ended up fighting Corey Anderson. I think it was in the semifinals of the 205-pound title fight or something along those lines. Overall, I mean, like this guy, he's got explosive kicks. He does spinning attacks. He's got a big right hand. I believe it's a big right overhand right. He throws it fucking at will whenever he feels like it. He's explosive though. But what I have noticed about him though, since they fought the first time, is that he's put on more weight. And so he's filled out, like he's a little bit thicker. He also throws his combinations a little bit more. So it says Top Shot is sending out viruses. Watch out. I know that's what scares me, man, about you guys. It's weird shit. Top Shot trying to FaceTime me, huh? Why you want to FaceTime me, man? Why are you trying to steal my shit? No, we don't do this stuff. No. Like I said, become a member. Once you become a member to our YouTube channel, I'll be doing like not just giveaways, but I'll be inviting guests on at least probably once a month, maybe possibly twice a month. Normally before the pay-per-view, I'll probably have you on so we can talk about the pay-per-view, and then I'll probably do it after the pay-per-view the following Monday, and then we can talk about the aftermath of the fallout of every pay-per-view. So I'll do those on Mondays. If you guys become a member, we offer a $4.99 membership and a $1.99 membership. The $4.99 membership gets you an opportunity to get a FaceTime with me, basically a real FaceTime on our platform during the live show. We can ask questions. We can take questions together, from people. And the $1.99 gets you guys' questions answered first when we do our live shows on Tuesday night. So, or anytime I do a live show, I'll get to you guys first. But yeah, Josh, my PC is slower after using Russian link. Surprise. Where's Big John? All right, B Fatty. Is it B Fatty? I think it is. B Fatty. Big John is no longer with the podcast. He's going back to refereeing. And he's going to be doing that for the next, I believe, couple of years. He wanted to kind of scratch the itch, and so he will be doing going back into boxing refereeing and MMA refereeing. And I would not be surprised if you guys don't see him in the UFC and PFL very soon. So, give me your guys' take on Corey Anderson. Let's talk about this. Like he's got some big wins. He's a fun. For me, I like the way he fights. I love seeing wrestlers use their takedowns, but then also do damage from that top position. He's that guy. Man, why are you guys yelling at each other? Proud. Are you sure you're not from Russia, Top Shotta? You sure you're not from Russia? I just told you, Top Shotta. $sign on the message bar where you typing. That's funny. You guys keep it classy, man. Keep it classy. No, yeah, for sure. Big John's one of the best referees, if not the best referee, but it'll be good for him to get out there. Be good for him to get back into it, see if he enjoys it, see if he likes it. You know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in this fight, man. This can be a good fight. Get the 205-pound division. Corey Anderson just went up to heavyweight, got a win at heavyweight against Golsov, came back down to 205. And so there's some big fights for him coming up. So oh, these guys. Corey is tall. He's got a long body style. You know, he utilizes his wrestling. His stand-up's got a lot better. He's got good kicks when he decides to throw them. He doesn't throw them as much as I'd like him to, but he's got some good boxing. He's got a good jab. And look, it's all about him getting the takedown. Once he gets the takedown, him utilizing his elbows and his ground and pound, and that 12-6 elbow is going to be key for him, especially if he's able to get to that mount position. So good fight. Good fight. Looking forward to seeing how this fight plans out. Both 36 years old, 6'3" in height, 204 pounds, 205 pounds, 78-inch reach for Corey Anderson with a 6'3" height advantage over Yagshimirov, 5'11" with a 72-inch reach advantage. Or not a reach advantage, but the reach. Corey's got the longer reach and the taller fighter. Corey Anderson used the range advantage, combo into takedowns, keep the hands high, throw more than one, which is what I had said about Yagshimirov. His advantage is to winning, control the center, work on ground defense. Yeah, I mean, Yag's just got to keep his back off the canvas, and he's got to let the hands fly, man. You cannot afford to just try to do one, two shots against Corey Anderson. You've got to overwhelm him with 3s and 4s. So he's got to cover up and not be offensive. His striking has gotten a lot better, but I still don't see that extreme comfortableness that you would get from like a world-class kickboxer or a kickboxer in general. He's out there comfortable and feeling comfortable, but he's not quite at that level on the feet as Yagshimirov. So the best way to beat someone like that is to overwhelm them with 3, 4, 5 punch combinations and then make them shoot shots. When you overwhelm them like that, they shoot their takedowns a little bit differently. You know, there's a little bit more hesitation. You see them coming a little bit more because they kind of step backwards first and then try to shoot in and cover the distance. So that makes it easier to defend those takedowns. Oh, yeah. Yagshimirov, I believe, comes out of American Top Team. Great team. Obviously, everyone out of there is phenomenal fighters. They have figured out the system. And then you've got Corey Anderson. You know, he trains, I believe, with Mark Henry. He's with Mark Henry and the guys out of Jersey in that area. He's a phenomenal fighter. So he's a 15-fight UFC veteran, 9 of 19 wins by stoppage on a 3-fight win streak. I think his loss from 4 fights ago or whatever it was. I'm trying to remember. I think he lost to Vadim Nemkov. Big time fight. There they go. They're walking to the center of the cage. You see the height advantage right off the bat. Corey's got a 78-inch reach, whereas Yogs has got a 72. 6-inch reach advantage is huge. Yogs got the power, and Yogs is the faster, more explosive fighter. Let's go, Corey. Let's go, Sue. Let's see. Got to keep that left hand up. Watch the overhand right from Yag Shamirodov. Both just kind of filling it out right now. Damn, man. Corey got a fucking huge ass. Look at that thing. Big old dunk. Oh, damn, Corey. Damn, Daniel. Oh, shit. Look at the fucking traps on Yag Shamirodov, though. Ooh, nice little. He's reached down for the leg, came back up top for the left hook by Corey Anderson. Corey got to be careful leaving himself out of position, though. Yo, Mike. Look, I want to say Corleone, but what's up, Mike? Let's go. Corey got to pump that jab a little bit. Get that jab moving. Give a little feint. Get him to react a little bit. Ooh, nice little uppercut attempt, but didn't get there by Yogs. There it is again. I like what Yogs is doing. He's throwing the uppercut to the body. So then Corey kind of like lifts his head, and there it is right there. And then you see that left hook come right after that. So he's throwing the backside right uppercut. Corey right to the wrestling. Yogs doing a good job defending, put his back to the fence. Corey with the pressure against the fence. Corleone. Yeah. Mike Corleone. See, I know what I'm talking about. The Godfather. I'll take it. You should. I would. I'd run with it. I'd probably change my name if I were you. Call myself Corleone. Oh, that looked like a punch. Oh, this is gonna be one of those things. That was not an eye poke, I don't think. I think it was a punch. Gotta go. You're gonna have to go right to the Ranjit. They've already fought before. I think this was a punch. I can't see. For some reason, my replay looks all messed up. There it is. Maybe I wasn't the only one. I think it was a punch. Oh no, it was a thumb. Yeah. He caught him in the thumb in the eye. It was a punch. It was just the way the thumb landed. So the thumb gets like this, see? And then it's like they call this thumbing in boxing. But when you throw the jab and whatever, you don't turn your hand over, this portion of the thumb, I don't know if you guys can see it. This portion of the thumb right here is actually able to catch you right inside the eye. Yeah. Very interesting. We've had 2 moments now in this fight. Or not in this fight, but 2 moments tonight that we could have used Big John. Big John, where you at, man? Where you at? Need to know the answers. So, he caught him in the tum. When this is the main card. We are Aura. When main card will start. Main card is starting. It's already started. This is the co-main event. The main event is right after this fight. You heard a story that Corey Anderson works 25 hours a day, 8 times a week. Interesting. That sounds like a Tito quote, a Tito Ortiz quote. Oh. Corey taking his time. Got 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 2 seconds left in this round. It's the first round. It's a 5-round fight. This is a title fight. This is a 5-round fight. Vadim Nemkov was the Bellator champ, and he vacated. Now he's going up to heavyweight. So this will be for the title, for the PFL title. Yeah, it's going to get out of hand. Another eye poke. We're at 246. Yeah, you just can't. I don't know. It looks like his eyes are closed. I mean, I really couldn't tell you. The glove is closed, the fingers closed. It would just be considered a punch. There it is. I don't know, man. Yogg's is looking really good right now. And then Corey with the eye situation. Yeah, the speed of Yagshimirov and the explosiveness. Corey's got to get in on this wrestling. But as this fight goes on, look for Corey. Corey's got fantastic cardio, great conditioning. Oh, big right hand by Yagshimirov. Corey's in trouble right now. Yag's got to be careful. He doesn't just load up. If he just tries to touch him, he'll be able to get him out of there. There's the wrestling right there by Corey. Nice job by Corey. Yag's doing a great job of getting that whizzer. Good job by Yags. It's got that little forearm underneath the chin, making space. Great pressure by Corey Anderson. He got in trouble there. That little exchange right there, I think, is what's gonna potentially win Yogs this round. You see Corey. Corey's got a gas tank though, so you don't want to do too much if you're Yogs, where you start throwing too much and burning your arms out. Great job by Corey. He's got the double unders. Nice takedown by Corey Anderson. This is where Yogs cannot afford to settle in on this position. He's got to work on getting up. Yagshimirov with the double hand wrist control on that punching side. Yeah, Corey did a great job of getting in on several takedown attempts. Just wasn't able to get one. Here's the first time he's getting him down. And he's got that leg ride, working on that near side choke, but not able to really get it. It's really just threatening him, just kind of making him work. Yogs needs to start posting on the left hand, posting on the left foot. Get your left foot up so you're sitting up in like in a seated position, kind of with both feet on the ground, but almost in a seated position. And just start looking to stand up. I know it's easier said than done, everyone. I know you guys are in the comments blowing me up because of it, but yeah, technically, you guys would be correct. Technically, the first couple eye pokes, look, Josh Thompson, Jimmy Smith. I enjoyed working with Jimmy when I worked with him, man. Jimmy's got a lot of knowledge, and he's energetic on the mic. Enjoy working with him. I've been on Jimmy's his talk radio show, his fight talk radio show, man. Big right hand right there by Yagshimirov. You could tell that it hurt Corey. Then he followed up with another shot. Just got a little reckless and careless, wasn't able to land the hard shots after he landed those shots. Here's another one. Bink. Oh, that one just kind of turned him away. So it was just the one shot. It looked like he landed two. The little uppercut. He was thinking that Corey was going to land, or Corey was going to shoot. Big time. They have an ESPN E on their canvas. What does that tell you? Road to Dubai. They've got a couple other sponsors on there. Yeah, interesting. Rove. I don't know what Rove is. I'll take a look at it. Here we go, round two. I'm going to give Yagshimirov the first round only based on the fact that he did more damage. He actually had Corey hurt. Corey was able to get a takedown towards the end of that round. You got Yagshimirov now. It's got 1 round to none. Ooh, nice. Corey came out aggressive. I like that. Now he's got Yogs with his back foot on the fence. There we go, Corey. Corey doing a great job. Ooh, good knee up the middle on that. Nice work. Good knees. There you go. Yagshimirov having to fight himself off the fence. He's got to circle himself back in. Nice job by Yogs. I'm just dropping his level to defend the takedowns, but now he's in big trouble. He got hit with the big elbow there. Corey looking fantastic right now on the feet. Maybe it was the eye pokes in the first round. They kind of just threw him off a little bit, but then Yogs was able to land a big shot after that. I feel like that's what won him the round. But right now, Corey's doing a good job. You can tell that Yogs is getting a little frustrated with Corey because he keeps talking to the ref about, oh, watch your head, watch your thumbs, watch this. And instead, Corey needs to focus on fighting, man. Stop talking to the ref. Let the fight play out. Whatever happens, happens. Nice job by Yogs again, dropping the level. He did a great job. He actually just lowered his legs and then dropped the underhooks, lifted him back up. Ooh, big shot right there by Yagshimirov. This is shaping up to be a good fight, guys. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man, if we see Big John back in PFL, reffing fights, or if we see him, back in the UFC reffing fights. There's already been some talks and conversations, I think, with both organizations. I know that all the athletic commissions have already got John's license back in and everything. So he's already licensed in New York, Nevada, California, all the major states that have the fights. Yeah. Ooh, Yogs took a step back, took a big deep breath. Corey just with the relentless pressure. Relentless pressure. Nice knees there from Yogs. They're starting to get slippery and sweaty, so the takedown's going to be a little bit harder in these positions here. Corey with the good knees up in the middle. Really trying to like zap Yagshimirov's cardio. Hustle Bones. He stopped because he started working for Bellator as an analyst. It's a longer story than this. Yeah, Yogs looks tired a little bit. Yep. He threw so many big shots in that first round trying to get him out of there when he should have just slowly stalked after him and tried to land. You can see he's taken a step back a couple times. Ooh, Corey just got hit with a nice jab, though. Yeah, and back to John. John basically, he started working for Bellator, and you can't be an analyst for someone and still be a referee in all the states. So once you take a job being an analyst, and obviously, I think Bellator was paying more than refereeing was, and so it was something that he, was like, hey, you know what? I'll give it a try. He worked as an analyst for Affliction for those 2 shows that they did, and they brought him over to be an analyst, and he enjoyed doing it. It was something I think you're a little bit more involved in the show. Like you're not just a referee and you're off to the side and not allowed to be really, but as a referee, you can't really become friends. You're sure you're friends, isn't like you guys are social, you say hi to each other respectfully, but like you can't go hang out with the fighters afterwards. You can't go hang out with, the promotion really afterwards. You're supposed to be neutral. And so I think for John, and not just John, but for most people that are referees and want to leave and not be a referee anymore, they get an opportunity to work with a promotion. That's what they want to do. You get a chance to hang out with the TV networks. You get a chance to hang out with the promoters and the production crew and everyone that you've always kind of seen at every show. You now get that chance to really kind of become friends with them. So 20 seconds left in the second round. I got Corey winning this round for sure. Good fight though so far. Right now it's 1-1. If we get to the end of this round, I got Corey winning this round. I got Yagshimirovov winning the first round. Yag's looking tired, winging the shots, taking steps back, taking deep breaths. Corey has nice knee up the middle. Little just kind of stutter step knee up the middle. Why does Dana have beef with Big John? Look, that's a Big John question. You've got to ask him. I think there's just more than one reason. I think it's pretty widely known. I think because when John left for Affliction to do that work for them, that kind of that bothered Dana a little bit. Then anything else after that is just kind of every little thing. But I think, I think that was one of the situations that kind of bothered him. It's like you left being a ref to go work for Affliction, who was using Fedor, Tim Sylvia trying to use Randy Couture and other fighters that left from the UFC to go to Affliction. So it was a big deal. It was a really big deal at the time. But so I have it scored 1-1. I know. Come on, main event. I got you. I feel the same way. But this, if you're not watching this fight, man, you got to tune into this fight. This is a great fight. Yakhshimuradov, though, is starting to slow down. So for him, he's got to be as active with his combinations. Maybe he'll catch a second win. It's that second, third round you start to feel a little tired, specifically in the third round. Third and fourth, you can kind of start to feel tired, and then you kind of catch a second win around the fifth round if you get to that far. Yeah, UFC doesn't pay the refs. The commission does. No, I understand that. I do understand the UFC doesn't pay the refs, but in reality, the UFC does pay the refs. They pay the commission, and the commission pays the refs. So, nice work by Yakhshimuradov. Is that he's kicking the calf. That's going to start to take a toll on Corey's shins, on that calf kick on that leg. It'll make it harder for him to lower his level and penetrate on the takedowns, which then will make it more of a stand-up fight. Corey doing a great job on the feet. I like when he utilizes his kicks. He doesn't utilize his kicks enough. I don't know if he doesn't like to kick. Oh, there, right when I said that, he kicked again. Oh, I kicked him right in the nuts, though. Just shin across the front of the cup. Yeah, it does. It does really seem like Ranjit. It does seem like it'll come down to the cardio right now. And look, Corey Anderson, I think, has got probably the best cardio I think I've seen in the 205-pound division. You know, if I can't think of another. I mean, outside of, like, John was so relaxed. John Jones was so relaxed in that weight class that, like, his cardio is extremely good. You know, Gustafson had really good cardio at 205 as well. They are back. Here we go. Corey doing a good job utilizing the jab. He's got to be very careful, though. He doesn't get hit with that overhand right. I like how he's feinting that takedown. He's dipping the head. Ooh, they clashed heads a little bit there. 9:15 a.m. Might as well use up all the free fouls you can. Yeah. Each person pretty much gets two, and then they start taking points. Normally. Let's see, jab. Look, no ref wants the fight to be decided off of, like, them taking a point. Especially, it doesn't matter which fighter. And fighters, they'll sometimes ask for it. Like, oh, you're gonna take a point? Like, how much longer are you gonna let this guy poke me in the eye or kick me in the nuts before you take a point or grab the fence? I mean, shit, when I fought Tony Ferguson, shit, he grabbed the fence 2 or 3 times, and Herb never took a point. And it was right in the middle of me trying to get to a sweep position. So I was trying to sweep him over and nothing there. Herb just kind of slapped the hands away, told him to let go of the fence, and that was it. Yeah, Corey's definitely got the better cardio. And that's pretty much, like I said, Corey's he's got some of the best cardio I think I've ever seen, especially at the 205-pound division. For a big guy, it's very rare you get a big guy with this kind of gas tank. Yeah, here we go. Nice jab. Just popping with the jab. Popping with the jab. Yeah. Yogs has got to get his back off the fence. Corey looking to kind of push him to that back fence, put that back foot on the fence so he can go ahead and drop down on the single leg, drive him to the fence, try to get the double leg, get the takedown. That will secure him the whole third. Ooh, got a little sloppy there, though. Almost got clipped. Corey did. Here we go. Nice jabs by Corey. Nice jabs by Corey. Corey's doing a great job of pumping out the jab. I'd like to see him pump the jab and then throw the calf kick or throw the leg kick after that. What's funny is Drew Mack. I actually was thinking about, just want to let you know that too. My last name's not spelled with a P. So it's Josh Thompson, not not Thompson. So, and it's always been that too since I was born. No, it's funny. I was actually thinking about doing some jiu-jitsu competitions. I just got myself back into training for jiu-jitsu and training down here at Hodger Gracie's here in Dallas area. Great spot. Got a lot of good black belts there. Oh man, I returned to the mats. My toes and my knees are jacked up. Corey with a beautiful straight right though. Yeah, you can just see Yags getting tired. Doesn't have the same explosiveness that he had. 1 minute left in the third. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind doing a grappling match. That's something definitely I could see myself doing. Josh is the most Mexican looking white guy I've ever seen. Isn't it wild? It's crazy, right? If my parents had been reversed, right, where my dad would have been my mom and my mom would have been my dad, my last name would be Vasquez. It doesn't get more Mexican than that, guys. More Mexican than that. So yeah. Initially, Yags gave trouble due to the superior speed. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Otherwise, he's just throwing jabs and overhands. Yep. That's what makes him tired, though. If you're just going to throw jabs and overhands, you've got to be more accurate with it. Like and he threw a lot of uppercuts as well, but when you're missing the uppercuts, the more punches you miss, the more tired you get a lot faster. Yep. In hopes, I mean, you can see he's got his hands on his hips, his head's down. I mean, I'd like to see him, he's got his hands on his knees now. He's kind of hunched over in the corner. Yeah. If you're looking at Yag like if the only thing I think is going to really save him if he starts to get a second wind. Yeah. I mean, like Corey's right now, I think the last 2 rounds he just ran away with. Rounds 2 and 3, it's been target practice, pumping the jab right in the face. There you go. You see the jabs just snapping back Yags' face. Got that little blood coming and trickling down from the lips. This is the new CEO right there on the right, John Martin. He's the new CEO. Look, he used to work for, I want to say Time Warner. And he's basically, I think, been brought in to try to negotiate some sort of new TV deal, whether it's with ESPN, whether it's, it won't obviously be with Paramount or CBS, given that UFC just signed with them, but it might be with somebody else. So, but I would imagine they would probably try to stay here at ESPN. I don't think it would do them any justice to leave somewhere else unless they were able to get some sort of Netflix deal where they could be on there constantly. But I don't know if Netflix would really do it, only based on they don't want to lose the opportunity to have the big time fights probably from the UFC. And that, I don't know, I don't think it would piss the UFC off, but I mean, they've already got CBS on. UFC's already got CBS and Paramount, which are pretty much basically free. It's very cheap to have those at $10 or whatever it is. Yeah, there's that overhand right again. He keeps missing it, which is making him even more tired. Yeah, I mean, there's an opportunity. I could probably get Rockhold on here. He's my little big brother. He's my big little brother. That's what I call him. Yeah. He's my little brother, but he's the big kid. Nice takedown attempt, drive to the fence, lock those hands. That 78-inch reach. Think about this. Corey's got a 78-inch reach. And John Jones, I believe, has an 84-inch reach. Yag is a 205-pounder as well, only has a 72-inch reach. I think I have a 70-inch reach. 70? I think it's 70. It's somewhere in the 70s, 70 or 71, somewhere in there. 70, 71, 72. I think it's somewhere in there is what my reach is. Yeah, look, there's going to be plenty of guys that I would like to try to get on. Definitely. So I know we've got Brian Stan next Tuesday coming up, this Tuesday coming up. So we got him on. I'm going to just talk to him about the fights, see if he's watched the fights. I'll touch base with him this week as well. And, just talk to him about the aftermath of fighting. Where have you been? What's been going on? And, and those type of things. Like, these are all things that I think the fighters that are leaving the sport right now need to hear from someone like a Brian Stan, who's been very successful outside of the cage. So, yeah, I don't know if you're saying Luke and I will be a good podcast. 2 friggin' knuckleheads together. I don't know. Yeah, I have a 70-inch reach. I wasn't a small guy. I mean, like, for the weight class, if you go back and you listen to Rogan, when I fought Yves Edwards, he's like, man, Josh is one of the biggest lightweights I've ever seen. Yada, yada, yada. That was it. Yeah, but think about this. John Jones has an 84-inch reach. that's that's insane. Corey Anderson, 78-inch reach. He's right where he needs to be. Right now, see how he's trying to do these elbows? I would have expected him to start trying to use the 12-6 elbow. There you go. There you go. There. Oh, that was to the back of the head. That was to the back of the head. Definitely surprised that they didn't stop that from the illegal blow. That was a clear cut back of the head elbow and a 12-6 also. I mean, he's not in a good position. We got a minute 30 left. Corey's got to get to work. He can have this fight stopped right now if he just unleashes. John and I have always talked about this. If you want the ref to stop the fight, start throwing nasty, vicious elbows right away. You throw them in bunches, just letting it go. The ref gets real nervous that one of those elbows may just fillet your face wide open, cause some sort of life-changing damage, whatever it is. And Yogs just looks exhausted. Corey giving him the hips, giving him all that gadunk right there. That big ass that Corey's got, he's just giving it all to him. Just saying, hey, take the hips, take the pressure. Here's the elbows. Here we go. It's just laying it down, man. The fight will start after this fight. So the main event, the Paul Hughes and Usman Nurmagomedov, they are next after this fight. There's 26 seconds left in the fourth round of Corey Anderson and Yagshimirov. Corey's just got to let it go. If he lets it go, he can get the stoppage here in the next 15 seconds. Yeah, Yog's trying to work his way back up. Look, it says, in my opinion, what's the Drew Mack? Josh, in your opinion, what age is the end of someone's prime in the fight game? I think it's 36. I think it's more like if you're talking like their legit prime, I think it's 33 to 34. Every fighter's different based on how much damage they've taken throughout their career. For me, it was 34. 33, 34. I started feeling differently. The speed didn't feel as much. The strength definitely didn't feel as much. My peak prime was like 28, 29, 30. Like I felt so good. Sadly, though, I spent 18 months of that sitting out because I had broken my leg, had a plate put in. And it was just very difficult to come back from that. So right after I won the title, I broke my ankle in training, a week before I was supposed to fight Gilbert the second time. So that really bothered me. But yeah, I think that 33 to 34 is kind of the age. And it really depends on the fighter, to be honest. I also think that it's different for women than it is for men. I think women, their peak performance is like 34, 35, 36, maybe 37. You get a couple that are good, from 31, 32, 33. But I think women in their peak performance, the sad part is women in their peak performance time is normally around the time that they want to start having kids, if they want to be a mother, at all. But that's the way that I look at it, is that, women at that age, they tend to have, I feel like they start peaking physically is at 34, 35, 36, 37 age. So yeah, and I would agree there too, Rajit. I think age does depend on weight class. So if I have a fighter, heavyweights can go. Look at Glover Teixeira was able to win a world title at, at 40 years old, 41 years old. And because at the heavier weights, it's easier to go ahead and maintain your strength and your power. Whereas the lighter guys, their prime is going to be different because it's going to be at, probably 26, 27, 28, 29, because the speed of it all is the most important part. The lighter weights, once you lose your speed, it's very difficult to keep up with those guys. Nice elbows off the break for Corey. There you go. Corey's got the takedown, dominating this fifth round. Yeah, insane. Insane cardio right now by Corey. You could see after round 2 or midway through round 2, Corey just started to take over this fight and just hasn't looked back. People talking about Ronda Rousey shadow boxing. Any notable BJJ legends rolled through, AKA that you got a chance to roll with? Oh gosh, yeah. Sheesh, so many. Obviously, I started off with BJ Penn. So BJ used to train at AK for the first stint in his UFC career. He came in, I would train together with him every single day. And then BJ and I would train together all the time when he had George St. Pierre fights or anybody had a fight that was a kickboxer or a stand-up guy, he'd bring me in. You know, then Leo Vieira, who I got my black belt from with Dave Camarillo. Dave Camarillo was my coach. I got my black belt from as well. So both of them basically issued me my black belts just to confirm that both of us that I was a black belt. Yeah, I mean, like I've trained with Marcus Puchecha, I've trained with Paulito, I've trained with Lapella, I've trained with geez, who else? Who else is all on this list? Lucas Leitch. I've trained with Hobinho. I've trained with a lot of really, really good jiu-jitsu guys. A lot of them out of Checkmat because I train with Checkmat. Yeah, I mean, but for me, it was more like guys my size, like Leo Vieira, Lapella, and Paulito. Those 3 guys right there, I got a lot of rounds in with, tons of rounds in with. Dave Camarillo as well. You know, my first stint in the UFC and then even in Strikeforce, he was my main coach all the way up until, until I won my title, lost my title. He was my main coach. And then when I went to the UFC, I was actually with Leo Vieira. So coach with him, he was my coach, and then trained with a lot of top level jiu-jitsu guys, a lot of them. Yep. And then train with some other ones too that, just that were all around in terms of jiu-jitsu, but yeah. Man, Corey's just dominating the fight. But these are the type of situations where last round and this round, he's got to work on his ability to get this finish. He's got to find a way. And I know that Yogs is tough, but the last 2-3 rounds has been just utter domination. And you've got to take chances. You know that Yogs is not going to be able to get back up and mount some sort of offense. You've got to take chances to get this fight to end it. And with that 78-inch reach and the Dagestani handcuffs and the damage, like he's got to be able to do this. So this is what, for me, this is what's always been kind of holding Corey back, is the ability to finish these type of fights. It has nothing to do with like his talent, his level of skill set, none of that stuff. He's doing damage. It's just not, it's got to be continuous damage to make a ref stop the fight. So, and we're 25 seconds left. This fight, I feel like he should have finished this fight last round. There's my dog. You guys can hear that. Oh, it said just heard on John's brother Arthur has died. Oh, that's horrible, man. John Jones's brother. Oh, that's horrible. Shit, no matter what you feel, no matter how you feel about John Jones, man, that's horrible. Yeah, definitely. I would say that the 10-8 round, the last 2 rounds could potentially be considered 10-8 rounds. Just domination. Absolutely. Hopefully, I do a little bit more commentating on the main event. What are you talking about? I've been commentating this whole fight, except for when we got to the last 2 rounds, because it was just basically him on top, dropping elbows. Not, man, I can't watch. I'm not sure. Alejandro Gutierrez, my man. Welcome. Let's see where we're at. Where we got, it says right here. It says, can Corey knee the solar plex? Yes, he can. He definitely can need the solar plex, especially when you're down. You can definitely need the solar plex. Yep, you can do that damage. Yeah, Corey's a stud, man. Corey's got great cardio. He's got all the skill sets. He can ground and pound. He can wrestle. You saw tonight his jab, his kicks, all of those things. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's got it all. What he needs to work on is the finishing at the end. So he's got to get busy. He's got to he's got to get busy. He's got to push the pace in terms of trying to get guys out of there. And he had opportunities in rounds 4 and 5 to get him out of there, and he didn't do it. So, and I'm not knocking him because I know it's easier said than done. But those are the things that people get frustrated about with Corey because you're so dominant. Dana just talked about this on the Dana White Contender Series. the guy, there was one of the guys on there was a 7-1 favorite. He's talking to Dana, dominating the fight, but couldn't get him out of there. Well, if you're a 7-1 favorite, I want to see you finish these guys. So, CNN says Chandler Jones died in a car accident. What? Oh man. Oh, see, are you talking about CNN? CNN fake news? CNN? So, let's see. Let's see. I don't see any headlines. No. I don't see any headlines that say he's passed. Let's take a look. Let's ask this person here. Did Arthur Jones die? Different Arthur Jones. I'm sure there's a lot of Arthur Jones. Did John Jones's brother, Arthur Jones, die? John Jones' brother just got killed in a car accident. That's all it says. Damn. That's horrible, man. Wait. That's from fucking Reddit, though. I don't believe shit that comes out of them. It's saying right here, no. It says AI is saying no. Arthur Jones, the brother of mixed martial artist John Jones, did not die. Okay. Reddit is saying John Jones' brother Chandler Jones isn't dead. It's a common name. He is okay. So people are just saying that it's not him. Saying he died 2 days ago, and they're saying no, he did not. So let's just see what happens. Let's see if they organize that. Can people tell me what the scorecards were? Was the rounds 4 and 5? Were they 10-8 rounds? Hashtag and new. The PFL title holder. Good for him, man. Good for him. Very dominant performance by Corey Anderson. Did a great job. Says he's dead at 39. I'm not clicking that link. You got to be crazy. People thought his other brother died a few months ago. Oh, it's on TMZ, huh? Is it Arthur or is it Chandler? You guys drop it there in the thing. 48-47 my ass. That is a disgrace. So which one was it? Was it Arthur or was it Chandler? $48-47. That's what they had it? One judge gave it 48-47. What fight were you fucking watching? Arthur Jones. Damn. Ex-NFL star Arthur Jones. Damn, that's horrible, man. That is horrible. Damn. I mean, no matter how you feel about somebody, man, you hate to see them lose a brother. You hate to see someone lose their life. That sucks, man. I feel for the Jones family. That sucks. Horrible. Oof. Man, you guys got to bring the negative news. You guys couldn't have just kept fake news, says Arthur. Alejandro Gutierrez, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate you. It says, Josh, for memberships putting you on the spot, you got to pick one. Who would you interview, Nate, Chandler, or Ariel? Honestly, I would do Nate. I would do Nate, and then I would probably do Ariel next. Ariel and Nate are very similar, I think. Ariel's going to give you a different opinion. Like Ariel will, I think, talk more, and you'll have to. And I won't have to pull it out of him. Um, or Nate, you're gonna have to pull it out of him a little bit. You're gonna have to get him to open up a little bit. But when he does open up, it'd be funny as shit. So that's what's great about it. Yeah. Oof. Look at that shirt, man. That Usman's wearing. Jeez. All right, here we go. Main event. About to introduce the main event. This is what we're waiting for. It's a 5-round, 5-minute fight. Or sorry, 5-round, 5 minutes around. You know what I meant to say, you guys. Come on. It's been a long couple hours. We're pushing 3 hours now. Here we go. Paul Hughes about to make his walk. Do I think either of the guys in the UFC main event could look? This is the truth. Paul Hughes was offered a lot of money to go to the UFC. The PFL just came in and offered him more. That's how much the UFC wanted him. They were looking to pay him a very substantial amount to come into the UFC. So Paul Hughes by KO. People, like, go ahead and list me. Tell me what you guys think. What are the odds for Usman versus Hughes? I want to say Usman's the slight favorite. I think it's almost two. It's not quite 2-1. I think he's a minus like 160. I think is something I saw. It's gonna be a closer fight. I think Usman is got all the tools and the weapons to beat him. He's got to take him down, control the top position, chase the submissions. You know what? Paul Hughes' body style and the way he fights, very composed, just absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So the way he counters off the kicks, that's one thing you're gonna have to take a close look at is how he counters off the kicks, and he makes people pay. Like he lands hard, clean shots. He fights well in a phone booth, tight boxing, very defensively sound when it comes to his striking. I mean, what he did to AJ McKee, as you guys are seeing right here, stuffed AJ's takedowns and was able to just touch AJ with his boxing. Did a fantastic job. Just man, overall though, man, great. Like he's a young, very talented fighter, a lot better than I ever gave him credit for. And I thought AJ was gonna run away with it. You know, when he fought him. And then that didn't happen. And then I still didn't give him the amount of credit that he deserved. Then he fought Usman. And I was like, dude, this kid's good. This kid's phenomenal. So look, he's got the style to beat Usman. I don't think he gets it done. I think Usman's gonna make the changes that he needs. And you're gonna see a smarter fight. And you're gonna see, I think, a fighter who's also in a lot better shape in Usman this time. I think a lot of it had to do with it was unexpected what Paul Hughes could do. And when things weren't working, that starts to mess with your mind. You start to get a little bit more fatigued and tired because you're not able to get your takedowns like you think you'll be able to get them at will. You're not able to chase the submissions that always work for you because defensively, Paul Hughes is very strong defensively, whether it's takedown defense, whether it's submission defense, whether just on the feet, the way he avoids getting hit with big shots, and also too, the way that he's able to parry the kicks and then counter off the kicks. And look at the way he walks out. So confident, so just like composed. He's not letting the moment get to him. He's enjoying this moment. He's in another country right now fighting against somebody who is basically considered to be the huge, and like this is like it's almost like a home fight for him. He's like the home team fighter, you know, Usman is here. So Paul Hughes coming out the way he's coming out, making that walk with the confidence that he's making. That says a lot about him as a character. You know, it says a lot about it. It says a lot about his character. It says a lot about him as an athlete, as a fighter, and his mindset stepping into this fight. So that's just a phenomenal young athlete that I'm excited to watch, you know, carry out his career. Absolutely phenomenal. So this is big for him. You know, he had to go out and get a win after he fought Usman. Goes out, gets a win, 43-second knockout or something like that. And then he comes back. He's like, you know, hey, I want that fight. Usman, you know, was like, no, go fight one more time. And then the PFL was like, nah, let's just do the rematch now. Huge fight. Yeah, this is like home territory for Usman Nurmagomedov. But Paul Hughes, I think just he loves these moments. Look at him, just taking his time, making his walk, enjoying this moment. These are all things that are extremely important. He's not burning energy on the way out to the cage. He's not wasting his time. He's not getting amped up and hyped up. He's just getting himself focused, and he's focused on the moment. Look at him. He's got his flag behind him. He's taking a look all around. He's taking it all in. Everyone's got their cameras up videoing him. This is a huge moment for him because he knows if he loses to Usman right now, it's going to be a long time before he gets a rematch. It's going to be 3, 4, maybe 5 fights before he gets a rematch. So most of you guys are saying that you think that Paul Hughes is going to win by knockout in rounds 2 or 3. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Usman's got the long range kicks. Does very well with his long range striking, with the boxing as well. That all leads him into getting into his wrestling. This is big, man. This is big. Look, both these guys could walk into the UFC and compete. Now, I'm not saying that both of them, I'm not saying that either one of them will ever be world champion, but I'm saying they could walk in there and compete with the top 10 guys. 100%. Let me take a look at the rankings. And this is no disrespect to the UFC guys. I'm just saying that these two young guys are that good. Okay. Islam's at 70. He's gone. Okay. Ilia Topuria is the champ. I think both of those guys, you've seen video footage of Paul Hughes and Ilia Topuria sparring, I believe at Killcliff. You know, Ilia looked like he was more of the cleaner striker. Paul, I think, is only 25, 26, something like that, years old. So that was, I think, a year or two ago. So he's still very young, but still, I think, different points of their career, confidence levels at different places. But I look at that and I think to myself, yeah, Paul, not ready for Ilia Topuria yet, but definitely could fight. He definitely could match up in there. Arman Sarukian. Paul Hughes is a tough fight for Arman. Just the boxing, the confidence. He's going to have to stop takedowns. I think Arman will be able to out-wrestle him in the first round or two. But as the fight goes on, we saw Paul is not the easiest guy to take down. And he's so confident on the feet with the boxing that could make Arman use a lot more energy being concerned about the boxing and the striking. So, and I can work my way. Max Holloway and Paul Hughes would be a fantastic fight. The two of them standing and trading, absolutely amazing fight. Charles Oliveira and Paul Hughes, great fight. Another great fight. The craftiness of Charles may be able to get him. But Charles also get a little bit older. Chin's not what it used to be. So, I mean, can he take Paul Hughes' shot? That's a question that could only be answered inside the cage. Don't tell me anything else other than the fact that let me see Paul Hughes fight Justin Gaethje or Dan Hooker. That's it. Let me see that fight. Let me see one of those two fights. That fight with Dan Hooker and Justin Gaethje with Paul Hughes, those three, if I was to mix those fights up, those are the fight. That would be fantastic. You would have an automatic main event either on a fight night or wherever you want to have it. I don't care. But you could definitely have it on a pay-per-view as well. Just a fantastic fight. Fantastic fight. Yeah, you mix those. And let me just go into Usman. Usman and Arman. Tough fight for Arman. Long range striking, good takedown defense, has good takedowns himself. Very good fight. Max Holloway and Usman. Tough fight for Max, only based on the fact that the wrestling is not there as well. And but the striking, Max is going to definitely have some confidence in the striking. Will make it difficult for Usman. But Usman's also a different fighter Max is a different fighter at 155 than he is at 145. But I think Usman's wrestling is going to be enough to take Max down and control the top position, chase the submissions, all that stuff. Usman's 28 years old, I think. 29 years old. He's still young. He still has 3-4 more years of his prime. Charles Oliveira and Usman. It just really depends on Charles's chin. Like Usman's going to be able to touch him to the chin. Usman's going to be able to defend the takedowns. So you're going to have that. And then you got Justin Gaethje and Dan Hooker. Those are fights that doesn't matter who you put them against. Both those guys are going to make it very tough fights for no matter what. The thing that with Dan Hooker that kind of concerns me with him, with Usman, is Dan is super long and lanky. Now, Dan can also be taken down by Usman, but Dan's also shown that he's very good at avoiding the takedown. He's very good at getting himself back up. and the boxing and the pedigree of which Dan is able to take shots and deliver shots, Dan relies a lot on his chin. Usman tries to avoid getting hit, whereas Dan's like, he tries to avoid it, but he also doesn't mind getting hit. So that makes for a very fun fight. Can Usman avoid getting tired against someone who just comes forward and walks after you? And man, just crazy, wild. So huge fight, lightweight title on the line. This is a rematch. Those of you guys that saw the first fight, it was a very close contested fight. In no way was it a robbery. I saw a lot of people saying it was a robbery. Usman or Paul Hughes got robbed, and Usman shouldn't have won, which is just not true. It's not true. It was a good fight. Some of the rounds were close, but the rounds I thought were clearly won by Usman. I put it in the same category as the Islam versus Volk fight, their first fight, is that a lot of people thought that Volk would get destroyed, and it didn't happen, and he put up more of a fight than he normally would have. That being said, that's exactly what happened in this fight. Paul Hughes was a better fighter than we all gave him credit for, and it showed. But you can't give somebody a fight just because they put up a better fight than they should have, or people thought they should have. But this is going to be one of those great fights. Will the fight go the distance? I kind of think it will. I think there's going to be a lot of, if it doesn't go the distance, either Paul got caught in a submission, like some sort of guillotine or something like that. Or Usman got caught with a punch off of a lazy kick or got countered off a kick with a punch. That's kind of how I see this. If it doesn't go the distance. Well, people don't realize, like, Usman is about 6 foot. He might even be a little bit taller than that, but I think they have him listed. It always says 5'11". He's pretty tall. So I got him. I think he's about 6 foot. You got the reach. It's only a 1.5 reach advantage for Usman. 70-inch reach for Paul Hughes, 71-inch reach for Usman Nurmagomedov. Think about that. Yagshimuradov only has a 72-inch reach. Isn't that insane? Those guys are 2 weight classes above. Insane. Corey Anderson's got a 78 reach. Usman's got a 71.5. Damn. Usman looks better. He looks more filled out. He looks a little bit leaner than he did last time. He doesn't look as soft. Like he looked, I don't want to say soft. He looked smooth the first fight. What I mean by that is, like, sometimes when you overtrain, your body has a tendency to look smooth. Like you don't see like the little striations of muscle in your body. And that could happen from bad weight cuts as well. And then you saw that with the bad weight cut for Volk and Islam in their first fight. Second fight didn't look the same. I know it was a late notice fight for Volk, but that had nothing. I don't think that had anything to do with it. It was just a head kick right off the bat. In this fight, we'll see how Usman looks as they go into the second, third, fourth, fifth round. It's going to be a tough fight. I think Paul Hughes is going to come with a little bit more aggression, a little bit more tenacity, because like some of those rounds, they were close enough where if you landed a hard, clean shot, or you landed a couple good punches and good blows, you could have won that fight. And Paul has just been really focused on what the goal is. The goal is to beat Usman. Former Cage Warriors featherweight champion, has won 8 of last 9. His only loss has been to Usman, at least in the last 9 fights. 10 of 14 wins by stoppage. That's pretty impressive, man. Pretty damn impressive. Alejandro Gutierrez, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Did you have any rituals before entering the cage? No, I didn't have any rituals before entering the cage. But I did. I was just someone that I had to come early to the venue. I know, like, a lot of guys like to come. If you're on the main card, they wanted to come like 2-3 fights before their fight, get changed, get wrapped, and then fight. Me, I wanted to show up. Like, if I was on the main card, I'd come like at the beginning of the prelims, get in my locker room, drop my stuff, jump rope, get a good sweat, and then I'd get my hands wrapped, jump rope again a little bit, shadow box, then get some rolling, some grappling in. And then after I got the grappling in, then I would hit mitts and do whatever. Like it was, didn't really have any rituals or anything. I did wear my orange sweats that I had bought from the Gap. They were orange, blue stripes. Had those sweats all throughout my life, my career. I wore them, I believe, at my first fight. I think he even wore him at my last fight, I believe. So, but yeah, I wore him pretty much throughout when I didn't have a sponsor that was making me wear their whole sweat outfit. But yeah, yeah. That was probably the only ritual thing I had. I didn't shower the week of my fight. That's I know sounds disgusting. I rinsed off. I didn't shower with like soap and water. Guys, any websites to watch? I mean, you can just do the ESPN app. They're going to make you upgrade to their new bundle package. Here we go. Round started. I'm at 443, 442, 441. Yep. He's got to be very careful. Paul's got to be careful, just keeping his hands up. You saw in the Benson Henderson fight that Usman's very good with his little question mark kick, thinking that he's going to go low and coming up high. Paul's really good off of countering off the kicks. If you kick him to the body, he'll catch the leg a little bit and then throw it a little bit and then catch it. So he tried to do it right there. Very quick with the kick, Usman was. I like that Paul tried to counter back with the kick as well. You've got to always, even though someone's a good kicker, you got to kick them back. You've got to let them know that, like, I'm going to kick you as well. Don't just be surprised when you're just only kicking me. Paul doing a good job of taking the center of the cage right now. Usman's kind of having to skirt a little bit on the outside. Both guys kind of in the center, though, doing a good job. Nice job by Paul. This is what we talked about earlier about how Paul needed to go to the body. He just went to the body twice, back to back. They're already kind of chirping with each other a little bit. Changing up the stances is making nice job. Nice job by Usman. Catching the kick and then throwing the kick off of that. Anytime you catch the kick, you got to throw something back to let them know, like, hey, there's consequences for your actions. I'm seeing just a different caught him with the inside growing kick. Usman did. Oof. Not good. Not good. You hate to see that happen, especially in a fight that's going to be highly contested. Con John, thanks for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Says here, just giving back. Just giving back for all the content for my drive. So work. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate the $5 super chat. Thank you guys so much. Those of you guys that don't know, because I see, appreciate you, Big John, and the crew. Con John, just so you guys know, Big John has left the show. He's going back to refereeing. I'll continue the show on. I'll be doing a little bit more live chats and live shows for some of these situations. And I'll be also doing a live tomorrow night for the main card of the UFC pay-per-view. I'll be doing it as well tomorrow night. So you guys can join me then too. We are back in action. Here we go. Both guys taking their time. I was expecting the fact that they would pick up from round 5. Normally, when you've got experience with the person, their speed and their abilities, and you've fought 5 rounds with them, you guys can normally just pick up where you left off and just start getting right back at it. It's been a little bit slower of a first round than I thought it would be. Hit him again. There's that catch of the kick. Watch for him to counter as the kicks start to come a little bit slower from Usman. Look for Paul Hughes to try and counter with some boxing. And he'll throw more than one. He'll go through 2, possibly even 3 strikes off of that. Ooh, nice little switch head kick there. He kind of stepped to the left and then threw the switch kick to the head. Nicely done. That's the great movement right there. Just so quick on lowering the level right into the takedown. Usman right to the back. He's got the leg ride. So he's got the figure four and he's also got the leg lace. So if you guys are not familiar with that, what he's doing is he's got the figure four with the leg lace. The lock is done between the legs, so then I can lace the leg as well. He's got the rear naked choke. It's not quite there. He's looking for that silhouette stretch, it looked like. Yeah, he's right to the back. Beautifully done. He's popping the hips in, trying to flatten him out. You can tell Paul Hughes physically is just strong. Look, Usman is extremely strong and a very, very aggressive and talented athlete. Like he's got such a high skill level. Like this, his ceiling is extremely high in terms of his grappling, his wrestling, his explosiveness. He's got that figure four. He's losing the figure four a little bit there. He's got to get that thing a little bit tighter. He's got the far side underhook. Nice on that half Nelson. I love that half Nelson. Paul Hughes in trouble here. Nope. Rear naked, not fully in. Oh, nice job by Paul Hughes. Now look for Paul to put pressure. He's got to try to win this round back in 15 seconds. Still a little hesitant. 5, 4. Beautiful knee, though. Great timing on the knee by Paul. Oh, geez, guys. Headbutting each other. Come on, ref. Got to do a better job. You cannot allow the fighters to get face-to-face like that. That's Keith Peterson, too. He's a really good ref. But the entry on that takedown, nice knee right there by Paul Hughes. Just the timing of it. Look, and you have to remember, the knees don't have to be hard. They just got to hit you as you're ducking down into it. Great job on the level change, right to that body lock, kind of drug him down. They got right to the hooks in the back, did some damage. There you go, hook in, kind of popped, and then watch, he gets heavy on the neck. Oh, they didn't finish it, but got right heavy on the neck. There's Javier Mendez right there. There's Habib. Can't see who else on the outside of the cage. It's a little dark. Here's the headbutt. This is Keith. See, there's the headbutt. Like you can't let them get close together. I know Keith knows this. He won't let it happen again. And you see him taking control right now. I like that about Keith. Keith's a great referee, a great person, man. Keith Peterson. What I like is that Keith let them go back to their corners, get their full amount of time with their corners. And then when the round, right before the round started, he looked at both of them and said, "Hey, this is what's going on." He explained to them that he's the boss. He explained to them, like, you're going to do as I tell you, or I'll start taking points. If Paul cannot allow for this is what I was talking about in their first fight. Paul, when he goes, is dangerous, but he's going to have to go. Right now, he's very cautious. He's not throwing enough. And Usman's made the right changes. Like he's showing the speed, the quickness, all of those things right now. He's being conservative with his striking, but he's showing all the speed and all the quickness right now that he needs. Unique I want to thank you, buddy, for the super chat. Thanks, $10. I appreciate that. I really do. I must have missed it coming down. I was looking at some other stuff here, but I want to thank you guys all, man, for the chats. I appreciate you guys. When they get loaded up, woo, woo, woo. Nice job right there. Paul's finding his rhythm a little bit now. There we go. He's got to keep a better pressure. So he's keeping the center of the cage, which is good. But he's got to be a little more active. And this was the problem that we had in the first fight. He was waiting for Usman to go so he could counter him. He could catch the kick and then counter off that, or he could throw counters off of wherever Usman threw his punches. Nice jab. I like what Usman's doing by switching stances periodically. See, this is where Paul Hughes needs to live. He needs to work in that little range where you put Usman's back or his back foot like kind of near the fence. And you can see the level of intensity on Usman when his back gets put close to the fence. See the sporadic movements? But when he's out here, look how relaxed he is. There, a nice little head kick. Usman's so relaxed in this position here, but as you start to put that pressure and you get him into that in between that black line and the fence, watch his movements right here from this position. He'll start to move sporadically, trying to avoid. See, there he goes again. This is a lot of movement. You start to get tired doing this. That was a nice enter through the jab or through the right hand off of that, and then right to the takedown. Nicely done. Just that speed, that level of he dropped in, he hit the corner, turned it real quick, got the takedown right to the back. Now he's in the leg ride. This is exactly where he wants to be. You can't expect for Usman to get tired like he was in the first fight if you're not being active, not pushing the pressure, not putting his back to the fence, not trying to make him feel uncomfortable. So there's a lot of wasted movement and a lot of wasted energy. Right now, Usman's in complete control of this fight. Nice. Paul back out. There you go. This is where Paul needs to make a living right here in this little spot. Nice knee by Usman, though. This is where the boxing comes into play for Paul Hughes. Both fighters need to stop complaining about the refs, man. Stop complaining. Stop asking the ref to save you. Just fight. Nice jab by Paul Hughes. Snap the head back of Usman. Good knees right there. He's putting the pressure. This is where he needs to make the fight happen for Paul Hughes. Usman doing a good job. Oh, nice head kick by Usman. Paul just ate it like a fucking Pez dispenser. Damn, that was good. Close round. Very close round so far. Little spinning back heel kick. Kept them separated. Usman just saying, hey, calm down. Calm down. We got this. Great fight so far by Usman. There's the brother, Umar. He's got a big fight coming up, too, against Batista. Mike Corleone. Corleone, you have a 1-1? 1-1, huh? I mean, I could see it possibly being 1-1s, but I think I have it 2-0 for Usman. I could see it being 1-1, though. I'm not denying it. I'm not denying that. So let's just say here, let's take tabs. Okay, let's just say, Hustle Bones has it 2018 Usman. Who else has it? What else you guys got? Corleone's got it 1-1. I'm gonna put Corleone on here. Has it 1-1. Who let me see. Who else had it? Hustle Bones has it 2-0. Hustle Bones. You have it 2-0. All right, who else? What else you guys got? I can't see that, but it's Patagonia. Jack Curry. David Dean. You guys all have it 1-1. 2-0 Usman. So a lot of people have it 1-1. I've got 2-0 1919. Why would you put 1919? The rest of us are using simple math. 1-1, 2-0. Why would you make it more complicated and make it 1919? Why you can do that to us? Okay, 2-0, 2-0. Okay. What up, chat? Podcast Dave stepping in. Look, I'm gonna lean towards you guys. I'm gonna go 2-0 as well. Usman with the 2-0. But this is where Paul, I feel like, needs to start taking over the fight. If he wants to have a chance of winning this fight, even if it's 1-1, Paul still needs to do a better job of having more output. That was the problem in the first fight. I can't say it enough. Like, he had moments in the round but Usman was able to get a takedown, or Usman was able to press to the fence and do something. So you need to trust me. Well, Rick Chalk Hawk, you need to just pay the money, bro. Pay the money. There we go. Nice little snap kick. Nice little hook kick right there as well. Question mark kick, I mean. Usman doing a good job of keeping his range. This is where Usman started to get a little tired last time, dipping his head, throwing his boxing. And when he did that, Paul was able to counter off that. And there you go. I just had Usman land a straight right. Didn't follow up though with another punch. Both guys measuring. This is a great fight. I know it's a tactical fight. I think most people were expecting the two of them just to come out and get after it. I was expecting that, to be honest, but just a very, very good fight. Both these guys got to be a little bit more active, though. Just throw. There we go. Oh, Usman in deep. Nice on turning the corner. There you go. Now, Paul, this is what Paul avoids the takedown, puts Usman's back right to the fence. Ooh, nice body shot with the overhand right by Paul Hughes. That's what Paul got away from. In the first fight, he went to the body a lot, especially towards the 4th and 5th round. That's what I feel like if he's going to have any success whatsoever, he's going to have to get to the boxing, to the body a lot more. A lot of you guys are thinking we're pretty much split. It's like 50-50, 1-1 and 2-0. I'm going to say it's 2-0 for Usman, but right now, Paul's doing a good job in this round. Yeah. You got Usman leaning a little bit too much with the striking, but you got to have Paul. Paul's got to push the pace. He's having good combinations. That was nice. He hit the jab, then he came back with the left hook, tried to finish with the right hand, just missed. Yeah, Paul's got to be careful dipping that head to the same side. Every single time he dips his head to the right. Nice calf kicks. That's where he's got to get back to also, is that'll slow down the takedown attempts and the movement of Usman if he starts getting busy with the calves. He should have started with the calf kicks early in the fight. We're already in round 3. Usman leaving himself out there now. You could tell that the punches are not as clean and crisp from Usman as they were in rounds 1 and 2. And there's the calf kick that just hurt Usman. That one, and then body shot came back. Paul's starting to find his rhythm right now. Nice combination by Usman, though. Landed with the right hand, came back up top of the left hook. Straight left again by Usman. Great job. Great job. Both guys leaving out. This has been a lot more output from both fighters in this fight, in this round. Nice straight right. Wow. Oh, wow. Rick, man. What's up? Minnie McGregor getting cooked. I wouldn't say he's getting cooked, man. This round, I think this is probably one of his best rounds, if not his best round. I'm leaning towards Hughes winning this round. Paul's winning this round right now. Nice body shot. He's got to keep going to the body if he wants that. Nice timing. The timing on his takedowns is freaking amazing. He's got to get busy, though, if he wants to try to steal this round. He's got to get busy. He's got to do some damage. The takedown is not going to be enough, I don't think. That timing, that speed. Oh, man, what it's like to be young again. Yeah, I'm going to have it 2-1. I think Paul won that round. It's a close round, but I think Paul won the round. So it's 2-1. So I got 2-1. I got 2-1 Usman right now. Yeah, that calf kick, it just made it look like he got knocked off balance. It looked like it hurt him. He switched his stance right away. He missed the jab. Ooh, Hustle. Hustle Bones has it 3-0 for Usman. Meat Rocket. I love Podcast Dave. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm sure he likes to hear that. 29-28 to Paul. I can see Usman gassing. Look, just because you can see Usman gassing doesn't mean that he lost rounds 1 and 2. I mean, I've got Usman winning 2 rounds to 1. That last round was a close round as well. This was the problem that we had, I think, in the first fight. Rounds were close. A lot of people, though, look at the Nurmagomedov name and think, oh, because it's him, like it should be more dominant performance. Paul Hughes is an amazing fighter. Like I said, the UFC tried to sign him. The PFL just came in and offered more money. And that's why they got him. And good for Paul Hughes. I'm happy for him. I think that's smart. At your age, go and fight and make the most money you can wherever you decide to go. At that age, make as much money as you can. If later on you want to go to the UFC and figure it out over there and see what you can do, your money can only go up as long as you keep winning. Ooh, Cecil Peoples, huh? Cecil Peoples got a 2-1 Hughes. Interesting. Cecil Peoples is also known for being a boxing judge. And I think he believes that boxing is superior. And the boxing, I think, has been more in Hughes's favor. But I've given Usman the control, the technique, the wrestling in rounds 1 and 2. Oh, jeez. That's 3 now. That's going to tie this fight up, man. That's 3 growing shots. Eesh. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Can't see from that angle how clean it was. Like all nuts. It's like instead of saying "oh shucks," like damn, I got it, but all nuts. Yeah, he's kicked him in the nuts. I think that's 3 times. The second one, I don't know if that was clean. The ref even made him continue to fight on. So it's literally his second time kicking him in the groin. But bro. Yeah. Oh man, I feel for him, dude. I feel for him. That shit hurts. I mean, it just sometimes will pinch. Look at Paul with the smile on his face, like, nah, nah, you're not. We're not done yet. Did he take a point? Oh, he didn't take a point. I can't. Can you guys hear? Did he take a point? Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't take a point. No, 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 no. I see someone saying ice out. That you got to be no. What happens is, look, when I throw an inside leg kick with my lead leg, I'm used to that rhythm, right? Like I know where to kind of aim, even if you do step in. When I throw it with my back leg, it just doesn't come out as it takes a little bit longer for it to get there. So the opportunity for you to step in further leads you right into my kick. And that's exactly what happened. So no, I don't think it was, I don't think it's on purpose. Yeah, here you go. 3 minutes left in the fourth. Oh, look at he's talking to him now. He's telling him you're tired. You just got to get busy though. Like Paul's got a gas tank, man. Just knowing that you got to push on him. You got to grind on him. But Usman looks a lot better in this fight than he did in the first fight. By this round, he was exhausted. You could tell that there just wasn't as much as he just didn't. He wasn't as clean as crisp in getting the takedowns. He wasn't getting in deep enough. He wasn't penetrating enough. He wasn't turning the corner. He was just happy to get in. This fight has been different. He came in a lot better shape. His physically looks a lot better. Nice entrance on the takedown. Turn the corner right to the high crotch lift. This is where Paul can't afford to hang out. This is what's going to lose him the fight. He doesn't seem tired. Like Paul doesn't show that he's gassed or tired. Ooh, he's got to shake him off. There it is. This is where he's got to get after him now. You got a minute 50. He's got to push on him. Really enjoying watching this fight, man. Nice straight right and followed up with a lazy left hook. What I mean by a lazy left hook, not that it was thrown lazy, there's that he waited a second and then he threw the left hook. So he waited for Paul to reset and then landed the left hook. Paul's just got to go. Right now, there's no time to wait. See it right there. Just throw the shots. Like he had Usman frozen for a second. He's got to throw the shots. Usman doing a great job of keeping him at range. And when he doesn't keep him at range, he's waiting for Paul to react, like overreact, so he can lower his level and enter in on the takedown. Watch for one of these takedowns that happen here soon. Working the body again by Paul Hughes. Nicely done. But watch for Usman to try to hit another takedown before the end of the round. Those little toe kicks are vicious. Is that Islam with him as well? I think that is Islam. It's Islam, Habib. Yep. And then you got Javier that's there as well. It's a huge fight. Huge fight. 20 seconds left. Throwing kicks to the body. See, in the last fight, Hughes did a better job of stopping the body kicks. There's that takedown I was telling you about before the end of the round. Just threatening it. Now he's going to have to let the hands go a little bit more and finish up with a kick. Nice side kick. Keep him at bay. I think Usman knows that he won this round. What I've got to do now is I've just got to keep you at bay and win the rest of the round. Don't get hit with anything stupid. Good job by Keith Peterson. Paul's got to throw, man. You cannot win a fight unless you throw punches. That's what's killing him right now. There's just no way. Usman doing a great job of keeping him guessing. It's making Paul Hughes hesitant to throw his shots. You just saw right there in that highlight. He stepped in. You saw Paul take a step back. See, he flinched right there, and then he threw the body kick. So what he did is he stepped in, gave a little feint, and then he made Paul react. And then he went, whenever Paul reacted, is he went to the opposite direction. He threw to the body. He saw what the openings were. I have it 3-1. I've got it 3-1 for Usman right now. Fight's pretty much done unless Paul Hughes can get him out of there. He's gonna have to finish this fight, at least in my scorecards. Like some of you guys may have it 2-2. Some of you guys might have it for Paul Hughes. So it says right here, who is this? Is this R&R? SNS? Look at me having to squint, see your name. Yeah, I just got confirmation that it was Arthur Jones, brother of John Jones, NFL player, has tragically died. Holy shit, man. Big shot by Paul Hughes there. Caught him right on the chin, kind of wobbled him. Oh, man. Oh, surprised he didn't throw a spinning back fist. This is where, there it is right there. Hit him again with a nice jab. Paul Hughes needs to just pull the trigger. He's got to let this go. This is what he should have been doing from the beginning of the fight. Nice entry. Beautiful takedown on the lift. Went to the butt, right to the lift. A little bit too much showmanship, man. There it is, that takedown again, trying to get it. Paul Hughes with a great takedown defense like he did in the first fight. Speed of Usman's entrance for his takedowns, just phenomenal, man. Absolutely phenomenal. Usman kind of reminds me of like a younger Luke Rockhold. He reminds me a lot of Luke Rockhold when Luke Rockhold was this age. I think he's about 28, 29. Just their athleticism, the way that they strike, a little bit of their mobility and their ability to wrestle. Like Luke could wrestle. Luke didn't wrestle like this. His fluidity wasn't like that. Luke was more of a whizzer, kind of like body lock, that kind of thing. Where Usman gets in deep, turns the corner, true wrestling is what Usman has. But their style of stand up and the way that they fight, similarity in body styles. It reminds me of Luke. Paul has no chance to wait. Nice right hand by Usman. Beautiful right hand. See Usman getting a little bit tired though because he keeps dipping his head when they get into these exchanges. That's not what you want to do. He's going to get hit with something clean. He's got to be very careful. Finish this round strong. You got 2.5 minutes left of the fight. Yeah, this may end up being a 3-2 or a 4-1 fight. Pretty much like the first fight. But I mean, like I'm leaning towards Usman. Usman's got to finish winning this round. Right now, Usman's winning this round. Paul's had some good exchanges though. Popping the jab. If I'm Usman, man, I'm looking to punch my way in, get into these clinches, try to control Paul Hughes against the fence, get to the body locks, get to the butt, lift and dump like I've been doing. Nice knees to the body by Paul Hughes. Out of these little exchanges, beautiful straight right by Usman. You are correct. Sorry. Don't know why I skipped over. You're right. Usman did get sat to his butt a little bit there, right? Kind of sat back a little bit. Did he go down or did he just drop a knee or what did he do? There's the entrance right there on the turn. Nice job by Paul. Headbutt. Oh, man. Clashing of the heads, a minute left. This is not what Paul wanted because Paul started to look like he was taking over this round. Ooh, he's got a cut. Nasty cut. But, well, let me see how you say your name. Pabajano, as Homer as it gets. No, I truly did forget that it was in this round that he got rocked. My apologies, man. Oh, he just dropped to a knee, but he got dropped. Yes. Getting dropped to a knee in boxing is getting dropped. Nasty headbutt. That 1 minute that little bit of a break though. Paul's got to be careful. Like this is where he's got to get after it. That could give Usman that little refresher that he need going into this last minute. I don't know. Hustle Bones, what would you take a point for? That was a complete accident. They both stepped in at the same time and collided heads. But Paul's got to get going if he wants to win this fight because I don't think he wins this fight. Even if he wins this round, I think it's still 3-2 Usman. You can't win fights not throwing punches. Ooh, nice takedown. Beautiful takedown. Dropping to a knee isn't a knockdown. If you get hit and your knee hits, that's pretty much a knockdown. Like I don't know, like that's a knockdown. If you got hit, like a judge is gonna look at that and think that's a knockdown. In boxing, that's a knockdown. Fight is done. Just close, another close fight. Another close fight. Both guys fought their butts off. Good fight, man. Great takedowns this time. The difference between this fight and the last one was a couple things. Paul used kicks a little bit more last fight. Paul is a dog. Paul used kicks a little bit more last fight. He also ripped the body a little bit more last fight. He countered off the kicks better last time. This fight, Usman came out with a better game plan, stuck and move. Didn't really get all flustered when the pressure came from Paul Hughes. He stayed composed, found his spacing, didn't waste energy, didn't let himself get all worked up and start wasting energy. That was a huge part of this fight. You could tell that Paul Hughes was a little bit more hesitant because the speed lasted longer for Usman in this fight. Like he didn't get super tired in this fight as the fight went on. He did slow down a little bit, but I mean, I had Usman winning the fight either 4-1 or 3-2. Really depends on how you judge that last round. You guys read it to me. Let me know what the judges came back with on the scorecards. I can't hear it, but let me know. Definitely want to send my condolences to John Jones's family, to the Jones family. Sorry to hear about Arthur, and my thoughts and prayers go out to you and your whole family. Sucks. If you guys can you guys read them off to me? Let me know what you guys. Let me know what the scores are. Yeah, Paul had moments. He had moments in the 5th round, moments in the 4th round. Just, I'm gonna say it's gonna end up being 3-2. It's gonna be 3-2. It's gonna be 3-2 Usman. I'm actually really surprised that a point wasn't taken. Great fight, back and forth battle. These two guys were getting after it. Exactly what we were kind of thinking. 49-46. That's one scorecard. I think 4-1 Usman. It's done. 48-47. 49-46. What's another one? 49-46, 48-47. Yep, that's about right. Yeah. So we weren't far off. Yep. We weren't far off. So I guess we could say we were all right. I guess we can say we were all right. Because a lot of us had that. A lot of us had. Wait, what were did someone have it 50-45? Somebody had it 50-45. Oof. Horrible. There's no way it was 50-45. No way. I'd like to know who that judge was. 49-46, 48-47 is more realistic. I had it 49-46. Could see it being that, and I'm not mad that it was 48-47. Definitely not mad at that. Look, guys, I'm gonna give you guys about 5 minutes. Drop some questions. Let me know if you guys have any questions about the card, about the pay-per-views. I'm gonna do about 5 minutes of answering questions, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Been here for 3 hours. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know it's the PFL. I know it's the middle of the day, but just a reminder, you guys, tomorrow I'll be going live for the main card only. I'll be going live for the main card tomorrow night. If you guys want to join me, if you guys have any questions, hit me up. If not, then we can wrap this thing up and we can move on. Yeah, I thought it should have been 49-46 or 48-47. I would have been okay with 48-47. I thought Paul won at least 2 rounds, so it could have been 48-47 for sure. So womp womp. Thanks for paying for my dinner. You guys are great, man. All right, guys. Hey, man, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Right decision, but some of these judges need to take. I know they need to take Big John's course for sure, for sure. Thoughts on the comeback for Patchy? I think Patchy's gonna have to. He has a lot to prove. I think he's a way better grappler than the guy that he's fighting. I can't remember the guy's first name. I know his last name's like Wicklax or something like that. The striking though goes to Wicklax. Patchy's got decent striking, not probably as good as Wicklax's striking, but I think the grappling is definitely a lot better for Patchy Mix. Patchy Mix is on a whole nother level in the grappling world. It's just a matter of how well they mix up together, but I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. Bum, bum, bum. Enjoy the stream just because it's PFL. Best fight I've seen in a bit. Look, I want to be honest with you guys, man. PFL is doing the right thing. They got rid of that dorky tournament thing that they were doing, and they've been moving on. So I like that. They're still doing tournaments, but the best person wins, not this whole point bullshit system, which is awesome. On top of that, they're narrowing it all down. Not all these other leagues and all these other belts and all this other crap. They're making it and they're simplifying it, and that's what's making this. That's what's going to keep them around. I think they've got a good chance. Let's see here. I'm looking at somebody. says, you watching One Championship tonight? No, I'm not watching One Championship tonight. I'm going to sleep, man. I got a long day tomorrow, a lot of kids sports tomorrow in the morning. Then I've got the fights at night. So I'm going to be up late, and then I'm going to film my post show right after that. So you guys have something on Sunday morning as well to watch. So I'm hustling for you guys, man. No Big John here now to help carry the weight of the show. So I've got to do it all myself. I got to put in all the work. And I got to make sure you guys get what you guys pay for. So make sure you guys join my membership program. It's $4.99. And like I said, I'll be picking somebody once a month to join me, maybe even possibly twice a month, to join me on a face-to-face here on our channel, on our YouTube channel. You guys can ask questions. We'll probably do them the week before the pay-per-view, and then maybe even like the Monday after for the fallout of it all. So I want to thank you guys so much. Josh, to the Dagestani fighters you train with dislike being called Russian. I don't want to say anything on that situation. I wouldn't say they didn't dislike it. We just never called them Russian, to be honest. We just called them from Dagestan. We just call them Daggies or Dagestani. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if they didn't dislike it. Big John probably scared people away with his face. Yeah. He's lost a lot of weight, so he's looking good these days. Dumb actual $500 PFL. Let's see his faces. Okay, any other questions? CG faces in the winner. All right, guys. All right. Hey, guys, I want to thank you guys so much. And make sure you guys tune in for me tomorrow night for the main card of the UFC pay-per-view. I will be available watching it on our YouTube channel. I'll be doing the basically same thing we did today. So the watch along, let's check it out. Thanks for joining me, guys. Take it easy, and we'll see you next time.